Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of Nerd of All Trades, the podcast where a motley crew gather to discuss movie pitches, favorites, and as always, bring a high level of sophistication to the room. I'm your host Tyler Birch, and here's the rest of the crew.
This is J. Fred, the engineer.
This is Derek.
This is Brandon.
And this is Juan the newbie.
So today's episode is going to be our anime and animation, and we're going to be doing the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise. So this one may look a little bit different just because there's not as many movies, so we'll be pulling a lot more from our knowledge of like the card game and the TV show and kind of just everything else. So don't be surprised if we get a little bit out there.
A little bit frisky.
Desu, bitches.
So we've decided that we're unfortunately terminating the pitch storm segment. I think everybody's got tired of me beating them. So that
Were
one,
you like up like 7?
that one may
We're tired
pop
of
up.
inflating your ego, Tyler.
I need this, man.
Yeah, that's why we want to take it away.
Job's not going well. I needed pitch storm. Pitch storm was keeping me going. So it may still pop up every now and then during our Twitch game nights, but during the podcast, we're going to be focusing on the movie pitch, favorite movie, and the audience questions, which I think are pretty good quality, pretty good segments that really kind of hit the whole franchise as a whole. Pitch storm kind of didn't fit in as much as I would have liked it to. But so we're going to head into the movie pitch segment. So, each of these franchises have created a world filled with its own rules, ideas, and imagery. And it's up to us to just completely wreck everything they've done and just pitch our own crazy ideas, our fever dreams, and do everything we can. Try to make movies better because we know more than the studios do. So
Obviously.
Definitely, without a doubt. So J-Fred's going to kick it off for us.
All right. So I was trying to go with a really crazy idea because it's a pretty crazy franchise. But honestly, I don't know how crazy my idea is. It might actually fit in pretty well. So think about one of the two big corporations. I think it was Kyber Corp and was it Pegasus? Was that the...
Yeah, he had
I can't remember.
Industrial Illusions.
Yeah, Industrial Illusions. Probably Industrial Illusions would be the better company to make this. But they make this device where you can basically channel the different attacks and types to a different segment. So I'm thinking about a movie where we have Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Beyblade, and maybe Digimon, and they're all attacking and like receiving attacks from this device where it's been normalized from the other people who are attacking, and then see which one actually wins.
I'm confused.
I think we're talking like an all-out brawl between these franchises.
Yes,
these
but
different kinds of
not a
games.
direct brawl because they're all like totally different numbers. You'd have to normalize it somehow. So they're in this like virtual reality type device where when they make their attack, when it comes out on the other side of the person they're attacking, it's normalized for that game.
Okay, so if like Agumon attacked Yugi, it would come across as like a card effect or something.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It would be assigned points on Yugi's side of how much it did.
Right. And those points would be based on how strong the attack
And
was
so
on the
if
Digimon
Yugi
side.
had like Obelisk, like do his normal attack, Agumon's getting fucking smashed
Probably
because
yeah.
the fist is coming through and just destroying him.
Yeah.
I would say,
pretty much.
arguably, like if that's the case, I don't think Yu-Gi-Oh can really lose. They have some
But-
massive fucking monsters.
Unless
But
they
the
say no
strength of their
legendaries.
attacks would be normalized for the strength of attacks in Digimon. So
In Digimon, they kind of look like they go all out. Like they have missiles and shit. Like
Yeah, that's probably going to be like an Omega level Digimon.
That's true.
he's over here. He's like, yeah, Obelisk could probably destroy a lot of those.
So I'm going to have to bring in Omnimon to take care of this. Like,
but they have one who can do it. So see, it would work.
Potentially.
potentially,
the big guns.
allegedly.
Allegedly.
We'll hit up Screw Attack and see if they can do something for us.
I just want to see like you said Beyblade. So when it comes through, are we seeing like this little Beyblade like that's in the shape of obelisk? Or
Yes.
That would be kind of cool, like
Yes,
a little blue one that has
absolutely.
just his head resting on it as it's spinning around hitting shit.
Yep.
Do they get dizzy? Is that like a side effect?
I don't know. Do cards get dizzy?
They're
I don't think
holograms,
they do.
Tyler. Come on, what are you doing?
I'm going to say no.
They're holograms.
I'm going to
that
make
pack
the
a real
executive
punch.
decision. No, they don't get dizzy. In fact, there's a gyroscope on top, so the head can stay stationary, but the top spins.
That's kind of how I
That's
was thinking
probably
of it,
how it
just
is,
like
yeah.
the floating head
Yeah.
or like a little head on it, and then it keeps spinning
Yeah.
around.
exactly.
Honestly, it sounds like some shit that Hasbro would do with their toy franchise.
Oh, I know.
That'd be cool.
And then as the Beyblade hits one of the duelists, of course they go flying back 30 feet
Absolutely.
naturally.
It's like this little tiny, little Beyblade that just hits their foot and they just go flying into the fucking wall.
Right.
Just impact crater.
I could just see like a little Beyblade.
But then they just get up like nothing happened. Like there's the wall behind them is crushed.
right?
There's
They're
like,
just like,
oh,
that was a tough hit. Like, but I'm still in this. I'm not out. Fucking comes spinning at Pikachu. He just goes like Iron Tail, slaps that shit out of there. He's like, get the fuck out of here.
Pika Pika.
Beyblade's like the first one gone.
It's like, oh man, why do you guys keep shitting on me? Because you have a fucking Beyblade.
like,
True.
I don't know. Beyblade. I haven't actually watched Beyblade, so I don't really know how it works. But it's hard for me to see it competing with
Pretty
the other
much
three.
exactly the way you think it works.
Just with a little.
Okay,
but the
so-
actual
so-
monsters come out. Or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the monsters come out in usually a little tornado thing.
So kind of like Duelist Kingdom hologram, like Kaiba's little thing where you throw it and it just spins up out of it.
kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then you just the thing about that one is it's in a bowl, and then the two Beyblades are just going around and around and around.
Like
while
yeah,
they
because I've
fight.
seen the toys, but I was never sure how the show worked. But now I don't know if I want to watch the show. So I was like,
Hey, I vaguely
Digimon,
remember liking
Pokemon
it.
could be like a good one, a good mashup. Throwing Yu-Gi-Oh monsters in there could be okay.
I'm
But
not throwing Magic the Gathering.
Ooh, yes, absolutely.
Throw 'em
That
some
one
Magic
could
the
compete.
Gathering.
Yep.
I
I
haven't
like
learned
it.
anything about that.
the slivers, that's all you need to know.
Fucking throwing some Carney just restarts the entirety of time.
I know that I know they're coming out with kaiju cards. That's really all I need to know. So
Heck yeah, dude.
Pikachu does Thunderbolt. All of a sudden, the monsters turn sideways. Like, what are you doing? It's tapped, bro. I can't. What do you want?
The dude in the back of the
shit.
table just fucking starts spinning his Beyblade. Everything goes all over the fucking table.
right?
stop! You're shredding the cards.
Right? Like it's just riding over
like,
everything.
Who's gonna win now, bitch?
Me with a pair of scissors.
They start putting their cards down, and the kid with the fucking the back will go on launcher shoots it. It's like, what is this? Not magnetic.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
Hell yeah.
Oh man. That sounds like it'd be really interesting. Question: who do you think would win though?
Shit.
Well, when you brought in Magic the Gathering, I feel like they have a pretty good shot. Initially,
well
I was
then-
thinking Yu-Gi-Oh, possibly Pokemon, but probably Yu-Gi-Oh.
They'd come at
It really
Digimon
depends
that.
on like
Yeah.
what all like you get to constitute in there. Because like, if you look at like, again, like Digimon, there are some that like again have fucking like missiles and shit. Like, so against like Charizard probably gonna fucking die. But if you have something like Mewtwo or something psychic, they could stop all that kind of shit. So.
I don't know. When Wargreymon summons the sun and throws it at Pikachu, I'm pretty sure that it's gonna lay there
Well,
and
yeah,
die.
Pikachu's gonna die, but Mewtwo's like, catch the sun, bitch. He just like raises those three little fingers and like, no.
He's like,
He
"You
just
have
like closes his little hand and like the
Just
sun just
shrinks, like-
disappears. Like it just turns all darkness.
I'll
I'm not
raise
sure
you
the
one
sun
sun
would hurt
with the moon.
Moltres or Magmar
And that's
that
how you
much,
ritual
so-
summon Darkrai.
Just like you just see the sun like crack like an egg and Groudon just steps out.
right. The card just pops up with Groudon on it. It's just blue like a ritual.
It's like, what in the world is happening? I don't know. I don't understand it, but I kind of love it.
Yep.
Yeah,
One game
Be a
to rule
beautiful
them all. There you
mess.
go.
sounds like a good way to drive toy sales.
Absolutely. That's why I think they're going to pick up my idea.
I think so. Yeah.
100%.
Tell me, dude. Hasbro's probably like, dude, this guy knows what he's talking about. Like,
We're going to go offer him $5 for his idea.
that's
generous.
$5, right?
That's a crisp Lincoln.
They'll take the idea and just off you. What are you talking about, Jeffrey?
No, they got taken over by the guy who owns GameStop.
Really?
No.
Oh, I was like, what?
He's making a lowball joke.
I was.
Okay. I was like,
I like your
that's
6
surprising.
ideas. Best I can do is 323.
right.
I mean, I'm going to make billions, but I'll give you $5. No, $3.
So look how crisp it is.
We'll give you 5 in store credit.
Yes.
Store credit.
But your store's closing. This is the grand closing sale. What are you talking about?
There's literally 3 locations. Yeah, you better go find one.
Right?
Right?
It's like getting a Blockbuster coupon at this point. Like, you gonna go up to Oregon, or are you just gonna call it a day and rip it up?
That's the new Indiana Jones movies. Is trying to find these franchises that were everywhere, and now there's only like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
You know, I saw a meme the other day that was like, we're lucky that this pandemic is happening now instead of 1999 because the last thing anybody needs is late fees on their Blockbuster rentals. And I was like, yep, It's true.
Yeah, that's fucking.
That'd make it worse.
That's worse than fucking credit card debt at that point.
It's like, damn it, Phantom
Be
Menace
waiting.
isn't
There'll
good
be a
enough to
line
have
out
for
the
30
fucking
days.
door. They're like, oh, we can have 5 people in at a time, and there's a line of like 60 people waiting to rent movies.
Yeah. We're waiting to return movies
I just go up to the little drop box and drop them in there.
unless it's full because there's so many people returning movies.
Well, that's fair. I'd be like, well, the workers need to start doing their job and getting these movies.
They're
Yeah,
minimum
I'd
wage
rather you just
workers.
go
You can't
fuck yourself.
expect that from them.
Right.
All right, Derek, what's your movie pitch?
So mine for Yu-Gi-Oh would be somewhat similar to like kind of like the same premise they kind of did with Bonds Beyond Time. I liked having like all the different series kind of come together like with different dueling styles and different protagonists. But I think it'd be cool to have like more of like a bigger tournament going on where like take like the 3 main people from each of the ones. Like you could have Kaiba, Joey, and Yugi are somehow there.
Hey, Yugs.
You say Crow and Jack, like, and probably do like at least 4 franchises. That way, there's a good amount of people there, like the 12 people.
I think you mean for it's 2 motorcycles.
Of course,
Yeah.
naturally, like because he does it all himself, anyways. Like, I mean, it'd be hard with GX because you got Jaden and I guess Cyrus. I guess Alexis maybe.
Hey, Cyrus came into his own.
No, I'm just saying like it's harder to pick out more
I would
main
say
characters.
Probably Zane or Chaz.
Not Zane, Chaz is who I was thinking. Alexis and Chaz probably.
Zane's cooler, but Chaz
Zane is cooler,
more
but
main character.
Yeah, he's the Kaiba of that one, so you give it to him, and then Zexel. Well, no, you've got Yuma Shark, and that's there's the one kid with the photon eyes.
Photon.
Kite, that's his name.
You can bring in anyone from Zexel, they're just gonna lose.
I don't know, dude. No, that Kite dude could probably take Kaiba.
Oh Jesus!
Like, because it's literally the blue eyes, but they made them photon eyes, but they're more upgraded and powerful.
That's
so
cool
it's
name too. Fuck.
Like, they're like these big space dragons, and they're tough. They're anti-Xyz monsters. So the whole new summoning they introduced, this guy is designed to like counter that. So he kicks ass most of the show.
I bet.
So it'd be a tough one, but like having a big tournament of all these like powerhouse duelists, I think it'd just be kind of really cool to see. And then having like again, like they're not really leveled up, like seeing like Yugi and Kaiba face off against synchro monsters and Xyz when like they don't know what that shit really is, like, or even like maybe they unveil like some special, like maybe each one of them does have a synchro monster or something. I don't know. You could introduce some new cards that way too, but I think
Synchro what?
Synchro who?
synchro summon.
You're gonna have to speak up, Sonny.
What summon?
Synchro what?
Yeah, that's my idea.
I'd love to see them be like, I'd love to see, like Yugi just to be like, Xyz, what the fuck are these? And he's like, I summon Dark Magician, and this guy's like, are you sure you want to do that?
Right? Like, what's it called? Because I thought about that, or either like switching it up and like doing kind of like they did on the final season of 5Ds, where it's all turbo dueling. They're on the bikes, but it's like teams of 3. So like you have to tag each other in and out. Like as one person loses, the next person takes off, and doing just like franchise versus generation versus generation or whatever. I think that'd be kind of cool too.
Yeah.
You'd probably have to level him up a little bit because again, like I know he always won most of the time, always won, but Yugi really is kind of a bitch. Like in the games, he is not very hard to defeat usually. Like his deck is
Leo,
trash.
on the other hand.
Dude, Leo's a fucking powerhouse. Okay, like I'm sorry, I got my ass beat in that game so many times by that fucker.
His grandpa's deck has no trash cards. I'll have you know, Derek.
They're all trash.
Only real men use Watapan. Fucking Karibo and Watapan. And, I can't even talk shit because, like, even Yusei, who's, I think, the only protagonist who doesn't lose a single duel, uses small, shitty little monsters like that with, like, 300 points each. So.
These are fucking annoying. Small monsters are annoying if you start, like...
I will give it to
losing
Jaden. He had
down.
somewhat... Well, no, his were all kind of trash, too, aside from the fusions.
Yeah, they didn't really have effects, which is kind of detrimental.
All the protagonists have shitty little monsters. They just somehow turn into good combos, like...
Yeah, I think when Jaden got Neos was when he became a lot more competitive.
And
like,
you notice the bad guy rival that turns friend people, they always have like the strong ones, like Kaiba, Jack, Chaz.
but
they've got,
they don't have the power of friendship. So
Exactly. Like that's why they ultimately lose because they
yeah.
don't have friends. But
yeah, because the friends, they're counting cards. And they're like, bro, You're about to summon Exodia. It's all good. Oh,
Well,
thanks, man.
unless you're fucking Yugi, where in that one episode they talk about like how he literally willed into existence what he was going to draw. Like that is some shit. Like you can't beat that. He's like, he literally draws a card, doesn't even look at it, and he knows what it fucking is and plays it. And it's like, how'd you do that there, bud?
He believed in the heart of the
and
cards.
he's like,
Duh.
they're like, he willed it into existence. It's like, oh well, if he can do that, like, I have no hope. Like, I shuffled. I'm sorry. Like, I shuffle my deck. I don't know what cards are coming. I just play what I'm dealt.
It's like, oh man, like Heart of the Cards. I think you mean like he has one up his sleeve and just drops
Right,
out when
like-
he needs it.
Like, Heart of the Cards
Well,
only
yeah,
go
but
so
it came
far.
from his heart and then down his sleeve.
Right? Like,
Could you imagine?
Holy shit.
Could you imagine if you're just playing like a competitive game and like some guy's just like, oh, I will this fucking card out of the deck. It's like, well, you can't fucking do that shit.
it's like, right?
What are you
Like,
doing?
there was someone in
That's
one
how
of
it
the
works. That's how it
seasons
works at
who
all.
had like a little machine that was in his sleeve that would feed up certain cards to him.
Oh, that's
I don't remember.
I vaguely
what it
remember
was,
that,
but
but
yeah, I can't remember who it was.
Probably every season, honestly.
I mean, probably there were cheaters in just about all of them.
every
Like
motherfucking
that
thing.
Exodia dude who like fucking had 3 copies in his deck and like marked his cards.
Even
talk about the perfume.
Yeah,
With Mai.
from Mai when she
Yeah.
did that. You have that Esperoba guy who just had his like little brothers up on the roof with binoculars and a walkie-talkie, and he's like, "I'm psychic." Like, there are so many cheating motherfuckers on that show.
couldn't Pegasus like his eye? He could see like into the future.
Yeah, it
what
was a
you would
Millennium
play.
Eye. You could
Millennium
see what
Eye,
they
yeah.
saw, or like he read minds. I think was it.
Something like that. It was very vague on what it did because then they had the whole, like when the other guys were snooping, there was like that hole in the tower that like beamed right down onto where his opponent would be. So they're like, oh, he doesn't really have powers. He's like just cheating. But then it turns out, no, he has powers. Like he fucking stole souls with this shit.
He's
Like
got an ancient
it was
eye.
very vague. That was Duelist Kingdom, and not a whole lot of that first season makes sense. So I choose to ignore that.
The tides.
Yeah, like playing the,
The
fucking.
moon.
But the moon controls the tides. And he goes, but your moth is all wet now. And you know what? Summon Skull's lightning. And he's just like, water conducts electricity. I don't need a fucking science lesson, Bill Nye, okay? Like, just play the goddamn cards. Yugi should have lost that hands down.
but he didn't.
I guess.
All right, Derek. Who do you think would win in this tournament of yours between generations?
That really is a tough one. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think the original Yu-Gi-Oh people could pull it off.
No,
So there are like
fucking
totally
cheat
different
codes.
rules to the game in those 3 generations, right?
Yeah.
Or-
Across, so GX and Yu-Gi-Oh basically have the same rules. GX just focused a lot more on the fusion monsters. They were in the original, but not much.
Yeah.
And GX really doubled down and made them a big part of everyone's deck. But yeah, once you get into 5Ds, they introduce like synchro summoning, which is like really useful and really good. And yeah, it's hard to compete with that. So
Yeah, you would almost have to find a way to normalize the rules and then the decks.
that's what I'm saying. Like if at some point, like yeah, Yugi and Kaiba get some synchro monsters or something like. But if we're gonna take out the whole main character bias here, like and like anyone has an equal shot at winning based on their cards they use. I don't know. Jack's got a strong running for it, or Crow.
Fucking Black Wings.
Yeah, exactly. Like the ones that can swarm the field with strong monsters. Not Yuma. Maybe Shark. No, Kite. Sorry, Kite would probably win it, honestly.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all know who those characters are, but
We're all nodding our heads.
yeah, I was like,
Indeed.
I think I'm the only one here for the listeners to know that has seen past the first 3 gens of it.
And we're all the better for it.
Yeah, we've all seen the first 3 gens.
I didn't say that. I said the only one who's seen past it.
Yes, we've all
I've seen gens 1 through 4.
A single season of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Right? Y'all just know the originals, so it's kind of like, well,
Wait, Yu-Gi-Oh's a TV show?
if it goes past Pegasus, I don't know, man.
What is
Like,
Yu-Gi-Oh you're speaking of?
Does he ever get his grandpa out of the card?
he actually uses his grandpa as a card from there on forward. And I play my grandpa.
For a fool.
I thought you said it had no pathetic cards.
So you're my blue eyes, and you play your grandpa.
Play
Yeah,
your-
Sonny, let me just stick it with him.
All right.
He uses Kamehameha. What?
He's like gets really fucking shredded. He flexes his muscles. His fucking clothes just disintegrate.
hair turns
The
blonde.
Americans are invading again.
Stands up
You
on
can
end.
get my gun.
So you're not sure? Is that what I'm getting from that?
No, I think
You think
Kite would probably
would? Okay.
Kite would probably do it.
Fucking, you can get my gun.
Probably Kite or Jack. I think would. Oh no, I'll say Yusei. He's got a lot of OP cards too.
Pick a fucking character.
We'll go Yusei. We'll go Yusei.
But his cards are junk.
Not all of them. Okay, there are some that aren't. And some are very fucking OP.
Some are very okay.
I mean, that's how I feel about Yugi's deck. I was like, if you take out the God cards, like he really doesn't have much. Like,
I'll play the Dark Magician. Why? Like,
right?
You get for
You know, I
for
talk
Summon
shit about
Skull,
that.
You get
but,
one you only need one sacrifice, but Dark
the
Magician
same
you need
points?
two. Like,
but I will say now they've followed up with a huge following for like cards for the Dark Magician, and it is kind of good now. I won't lie.
I disagree. They're not very good still.
But I could school you with it, Brandon. You got the game?
Yes, I do.
Oh, we're gonna
I
do
could
it.
beat you with a Blue Eyes deck
Let's do it, dude. I am down to do Yugi versus Kaiba right here, like afterwards.
and not even use a Blue Eyes.
How's it a Blue Eyes deck and not use a Blue Eyes?
Because you throw the Blue Eyes in the graveyard where they belong.
I mean, I won't disagree with you
started out as an
there.
attack against Dark Magician and became another attack on Blue Eyes. I don't know.
Right?
Look, I don't understand. I looked it up. Blue Eyes deck, just you throw Blue Eyes in the graveyard and you get all the alternative versions of them. It just works. It wins.
It's like Red Eyes.
I mean, I have a dragon deck that the main point of it, or like on the game, obviously.
Yeah.
But the whole point of it is, to send a lot of dragons to your graveyard because you can summon them from your graveyard.
Yeah, exactly. Just throw them all in the graveyard and then you can play from your graveyard.
But see, they never have people that do this kind of shit in the show.
Because that requires too much thinking and animating.
Right? Like, they don't want to put 5 giant, not cool, badass dragons on the field at once. Like,
All right,
no.
let's just start it off. I'm sending my whole deck to the graveyard. What?
I have one card, but I'm gonna finish you in one turn. Cool, I guess. All right, Brandon, what you got?
My pitch would be simply I'd like to see a prequel series to the original Yu-Gi-Oh! About the Pharaoh and like the original like duel monsters. Because like they give glimpses and it's pretty cool.
Throwing stone tablets.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of what Season 5 was about.
Part of it, season 5.
So you still hold the stone tablets on your arm? On the
No, you hold them. So if you
These
want
things
to
were like 8 feet tall stone tablets, bro. Like,
see if you,
what?
want, if you want to fucking XYZ summon, you gotta hold them like Moses. You gotta fucking knock 'em out.
That would be really interesting seeing them try to use like fusion and stuff with stone tablets.
I could just see Kaiba, instead of ripping up the Blue Eyes card, he just goes over with like a hammer and chisel and just like smashes
exactly.
the fucking
Their-
rock.
Their way of fucking cheating is just like you see fucking.
Or you're like chiseling new descriptions into the fucking
You
stone
fucking
blocks.
wait.
oh, that used to be a 1, but now ding 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 ding. It's a 9.
Oh god.
Dark Magician really used to only have 100 points. Now, because Yugi's a fucking cheat.
This thing has 4 new effects since last time.
Right?
You think I would have noticed?
The last guy I sent to the Shadow Realm, I really liked what his card did, so kind of just added that to my card.
It's like he,
Like,
he plays.
what? You can't do that.
He plays a Karibo. He's like, what is that gonna fucking do? He puts like angry eyebrows on it. It's like, oh.
he's like, I'm the Pharaoh. You really gonna stand against me now? Like, what can you really do?
All right. Who chiseled the penises on the Egyptian god cards?
Why does Obelisk have a vagina? Okay, come on, guys.
How dare you disrespect them?
Let's be mature about
He's
this.
like, this. I don't even know where Slifer, what it would, where, what, how, what is going on here? You just stuck it on his forehead. Like,
This is
And other
anatomically-
places.
This is anatomically incorrect, and I feel sorry for
the
you.
original Slifer didn't have 2 mouths. It had a mouth with a dick just hanging on its forehead.
Talking about the
4 kids needed to change
Wait,
that.
are we talking about the bicorns, the tricorns?
Right. The original Yu-Gi-Oh was very phallic, but
4 kids would have had a field day on that.
I would
one.
say 4 kids has censored a lot.
All right, here's the latest episode. 3 minutes. And now we duel, and the duel is over, and I have been defeated. Goodbye.
It was like 3 minutes for an episode.
If I could tell you what happened, you would be amazed and blown away.
Right?
Fuck a dude named 4 kids. All my homies hate 4 kids.
So, So, like, would he be the pharaoh at the beginning, or would you see him become pharaoh? Would he end up fighting Kaiba's ancestor in the end?
Yes.
Yes.
That's
Yes
all
to
I got.
all of it, or just the last part?
What about Zork?
Zork.
What about Zork, Derek?
know
Tell
who
us
Zork
about Yeah,
is?
tell us about Zork, Derek.
Zork was the bad guy in ancient Egypt, like for the pharaoh. He was this huge monster, like emperor lord.
Oh,
really?
Oh yeah, the one
Okay.
with the
'Cause that's-
giant phallic object on him.
I think so. I don't really remember
With a name like
exactly all of
Zork,
it,
You need something else that's really distinguishable.
but like that was the whole culmination of the series. Is like they ended up. Turns out Bakura all along was the main bad guy for the series, and he was summoning Zork back in ancient Egypt.
That son of a bitch.
And so like it ends up like it's like the pharaoh and Yami playing this game, but like with souls. Like it was really weird. It almost looked like a giant chess game.
Does the show go super in depth with how in depth does it go with the Kulanam massacre?
With the
Like,
what?
The Kulanam massacre, like the thing where they like have to like get a bunch of souls to summon the dude.
yeah, there you go.
We're looking at a picture of Zork right now, and he's
Oh,
not
heck yeah.
overcompensating.
Yeah, for the listeners, look
The
up
original.
Zork.
I mean, they don't go into a whole lot. Like there are some scenes where there is some. Don't really describe what's happening sometimes, but yeah, there are parts in different Yu-Gi-Oh series where you see souls being absorbed.
Oh, but they don't go in depth with the massacre to make the Millennium items.
No, they don't go into that.
Okay, cool.
So
Like
yeah.
you see souls
be
get
cool.
stolen, you see
Is that
souls
gonna
get
be your
absorbed.
pitch?
Even at
No,
one point,
that's
Yugi loses his soul because he lost a duel
Mm.
and
Maybe that would happen to me.
lost your
What
duel.
card do you think you are?
What card do I think I,
I
am?
did
Yeah.
beat your ass when we played on the PlayStation. This is true.
Like, wait, like you mean like that my soul would be in, or
Yeah.
or are we talking like real card?
He's a
No, I'm
fucking
talking
Wadapon, dude.
I'm not Wadapon.
Marshmallow.
No.
King of D.
Dark Magician Girl.
Maybe.
Dark magician with boobies.
yeah, Dark Magician with boobies.
All right, I'm just gonna tell you guys right now. There's a YouTube channel that does Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, and they do voiceovers for a lot of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Episodes, and they did it for Bonds Beyond Time. So if we make a lot of random references that sound ridiculous, that's what that's from.
Yeah, go watch. Go look up Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series, Little Karibo, card games for the win. Like,
Yeah, just I feel like
if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan, you'll love it.
yeah, it's pretty funny, and I feel like we've already made several references, so we need to make
Yeah,
sure
they're
you
just
guys
like,
know.
what the fuck are these guys talking about?
All right. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think an ancient Egypt one would be cool, just for the the merchandising alone. Getting to see
dude, I'd
Pharaoh
buy
with
a
all the
big-ass-
Millennium objects.
Exactly. I'd buy a big ass fucking stone tablet of a card. That'd be
That'd
cool.
be pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like, so I sold our cow for the stone tablet of Karibo. I'm sorry.
Right. Don't worry. Once I figure out how to summon him, though, it'll all be worth it.
God, I just
Did
thought
you even
of,
read this card?
I just thought of one of those.
Right? Like,
I don't know how to read. I'm a farmer.
he's a fucking floating hairball. Like, what's he gonna do?
Do you know it'd be pretty legit though? You know, like in Egypt when the pharaohs would be buried in like tombs and the pyramids.
Uh-huh.
If my pyramid was just my deck, like you just like inside the pyramid, you just see all of my cards.
Yeah,
are
like
the-
all the blocks are like the slates of your cards, just
yeah,
forming it.
Yeah,
That'd be really cool.
yeah, buried with my possessions. This tomb's empty. Holy shit! This
Oh.
guy had red eyes.
This guy was fucking stacked.
Wow.
No wonder this dude never fucking lost. Look at all this shit.
I just thought of more Moses references because of the fucking XYZ them and clacking them together.
But could you imagine, like back then, like you see a card that someone has that you really like, so you just like commission someone to go carve out another carving of this shit? Like, you're like, I want that.
Dude, you know how the tunes got made? Is someone commissioned a really shitty carver to try to make all of those cards?
Right? Like, what are we gonna do with all these shitty blocks now? I guess
Well, just start stacking them over there.
Yeah. Someone's just like two guys are just dicking around, like, let's make in the shape of this of like this big like triangle square thing, and then we can call it a pyramid, and then like all of a sudden like that was them. That's how it happened.
Not all artists are masters.
You have like those sketch bootleg shops where the monster's souls aren't actually in the tablets. Like they're just selling you rock.
version.
It's just a fucking rock that has a picture on it.
They put like random souls in there, so it's like,
Right,
it's
like
like a
human
cactus like just
soul.
appears and it's like, this is not Blue Eyes White Dragon. I think I've been had.
An
Right?
astute observation.
I gave up the Millennium Rod for this shit.
Blue Eyes Cactus Dragon, go. Maybe
And
if
it
you
just
will
stands there.
happens.
Right.
It just falls over. Yeah, that seems about right. So we're calling this a draw, right?
I actually gotta go, man. I had something else to do. I thought this was gonna be quick.
All right, Juan, what's yours? We got a lot of mileage out of an ancient Egypt
Right.
Yu-Gi-Oh movie.
It's true.
So, going with the theme of things that I don't know too much about, I'll just make something random about it. I actually really like the fucking what was it? The bike one?
5Ds?
Yeah, 5Gs. So in tune with that, of using a vehicle, I was thinking about like airplanes. So like you're flying in like a
God,
World
this has
War
to
Look,
be-
One-
it took so long to get on board with motorcycles, and now you want to fucking go in airplanes.
Yeah, World War One style airplanes, and like you got a dude flying in the front, and then you gotta like fucking get in the back and you're like riding on like the.
So would this take
like,
place?
wings.
Like, when would this take place? Because
I
like,
think World
When
War
would
One,
it take
right?
place?
it would
take
have to
place-
be more futuristic, but then it wouldn't be a World War One style plane.
What about blimps?
blimps. It would take place. It would actually take
I'm
place.
on a
Rigid
blimp,
airship.
motherfucker.
I was actually thinking about that. Where would it take place? Would it take place before like the original Yu-Gi-Oh, or would it take place in between?
Well, the original
if you're-
Yu-Gi-Oh is the start of holograms in general, like for it.
Okay, then never mind.
Yeah.
Then it would be.
But if you're looking for a World War One style plane,
It would
you're
have to
definitely
be,
going
yeah.
before. That was in like the 90s.
I would
so
suggest
You want them to
World
have
War
some
One.
futuristic planes or something a little more.
would it be?
It's got to have autopilot
futuristic
because
planes would be cool too.
Think about it. Technology can go so many different ways in different universes. So
Exactly.
maybe it is just better versions of World War One planes. They just didn't create
That's
like
fair.
that's 747 or something.
Actually, because
But what
Kinda
makes
have a
it what makes this
747.
different than the motorcycles?
and the
though?
motorcycles, they're planes.
It's in
That's
the
what
air,
makes it
dude.
different. It's
Yeah,
in the
they're
air.
not
What
on
do
the
you
But
mean?
ground.
other than that, it's still just the same.
They're not on the
duel, or-
ground.
Basically, yeah.
Because when they introduced the motorcycles, there's new rules when you're doing a motorcycle duel too.
Are there? What are
Yeah.
the new rules?
It's called
'Cause
it's a
completely
turbo
forgot.
duel.
Turbo duels. I guess
Yeah,
it'd be
there's-
called
Like every
dog-
lap you go around, you get an extra counter, and like you can use those counters.
I
for
guess it'd
certain
be called
things.
dog fights, where like there's a bunch of people like flying around and like
Hold up,
you're-
Michael Vick.
Nobles?
You're,
I was
fi-
thinking that. I
you're,
was
fi- you're
thinking that
fighting
too.
one guy, and then once you're done with that guy, you go to another guy, and then sometimes another guy can come in, and so those are like the things that go with the shows, like
That's
dog fighting.
literally 5D.
Is that 5Gs?
But in air.
There's
But in the air,
only,
like,
it's
you-
5Gs, but air.
Guys, I got a new one. Jet skis.
Jet skis, baby. Some boats.
You see this guy,
But this
he,
one's
like,
on the water.
he just keeps losing in turbo duels. He's like, "Fuck these turbo duels! I'm gonna do my own thing.
We're going dog
I
fighting.
don't have the creativity for my own thing. We're doing planes with the same rules."
I guess it would be in between 5Gs and GX, or what was it? Fucking DX.
GX
was
was
it?
the second one.
GX. It would be between that. So then it would like. That's why it's like a post-apocalyptic in 5Gs is because of a war, because of planes.
Are you sure it's because of a war or these planes losing control because they lost and then just crashing?
It's just a bunch of fucking dogfights happening. It's like it's just so chaotic that it just causes like, it's just a post-war thing as 5Gs.
There is a big war that does happen. Now it's much in the future, but there is a big war that
There you
happens
go,
that pretty much
baby.
destroys most of the world.
Shoehorns fucking planes.
Like
But yeah,
the
that's what I-
like the main bad guy from the last season of 5Ds, like he's from the
Oh, yeah.
future, like after a war and stuff.
Hell yeah! Just
It gets
because
kind of dark.
I really like the bikes. I don't know why. I always wanted my
They're
own.
surprisingly
fucking, like,
cool.
They are. They're fucking
Right? Like
cool
at
as hell.
first, I didn't think I was going to get on board with it, but
I
as
didn't
you
think
watch
either,
it, you're
'cause-
kind of like, this is interesting. It's an
I
interesting
didn't think
take.
either because I watched.
There's one kid that even has like a little skateboard one that he's on. Like
Yeah.
it's like almost like a little hoverboard skateboard.
I didn't watch too much of 5D because what was it? I got so invested into GX that like whenever I saw bikes, I'm like, oh, there's no fucking way. But then like later down the line, as I grew up, I started watching like a couple episodes like on YouTube of like 5Gs. I'm like, this is fucking insane.
The duels get intense.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why I chose planes. It's because I like the bike so much.
Okay.
Where would shoehorn it? I have no idea. I really wanted to shoehorn it before the original Yu-Gi-Oh, but then thinking
I
about
mean,
it,
it's your pitch. Do what you can go where it wants.
I feel like it would fit better in between GX and 5Gs.
That's actually, first of all, it's 5Ds. It's not 5Gs.
Oopsies.
And
For dragons, bro.
Dragons.
I've like maybe like the planes are like the original, like before turbo dueling, like that's the prototypes, and then they're like,
Mhm.
maybe
Oh,
this
yeah.
is too dangerous.
Right? Like, let's put these back on the ground. People are going upside down and barrel rolling. Cards are going everywhere. Things are getting destroyed. People are dying.
You ever been sliced in half by a Yu-Gi-Oh card? Because I can tell you there's 15 people that have been.
All right.
Let me just tell you, the Luftwaffe happened a lot differently.
I mean,
than
with
it
how
did.
some of those cards, like with how Kaiba throws those cards, you could cut people in half, dude. Like, they literally threw a card that broke chains iron fucking chains.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that wouldn't happen.
It would not, but it fucking does in the show.
Hell
Like
yeah,
they're
dude.
like Yugi's like trying to pull this little thing. He's like, it's stuck, and the guy's like, I got you, and hurls it. It goes fucking straight like a bullet and just like breaks the fucking chain.
Nope.
Card's not damaged one bit.
You
Like
don't have a card gun at home that just
these
shoots
cards are
at people?
fucking titanium.
Apparently, but no, I don't.
That's
Now I have thrown metal throwing cards before. Those are
Those
fun.
are cool.
Sure. Yeah. I think I was there for that.
Maybe at
Feel
the
like it'd
place
be-
across from
Yeah,
Martin House.
Yeah, that was their birthday.
Yeah.
It'd be hard. I feel like it'd still be pretty hard to pull off what happened in this bullshit show.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
50 feet away, hurl that bitch, break an iron chain
It'd have to be like a
in a
like
burning
a
building.
card made out of a kyber crystal or something.
Right? You gotta use the force with this shit, like directed.
He actually
Kaiba's just the man, dude. I
his
don't know what
special
else to say.
ability is actually to stop time. And like you just see him throw the card, he stops time, goes over, like starts cutting the chain,
Got, like, bolt
cuts
cutters
it,
and shit.
goes back in position, restarts time, and it just like goes through, and he's like, exactly.
You know, he's like, he's like
See?
got these tools in the back.
It was no
What,
sweat.
What's all that? Don't worry about that, okay?
I mean, if he can stop time, he can stop it long enough that he can catch his breath and put his tools away.
I mean,
So
that's fair.
That's why you gotta pretend.
You don't know what his powers are, okay? It might be the limit of his energy.
okay.
You're like, oh, that's fine. Okay, I guess. Fair.
I'm just saying that wasn't mentioned. So with
I
the
mean, no, you're
information I
right.
had,
His bitch ass could easily sit there for like an hour just chilling afterwards. Like, this building's on fire. He's just like getting a tan. Like,
of course, from Rick and Morty, we know that the longer you have time paused, the more unstable your time gets. So
I've heard this.
True.
Yes. Rick
I
and
I
Morty.
can't
Rick and
remember
Morty.
most of what I've watched in Rick and Morty. Not gonna lie to you.
were you high when you watched it?
Because it's the only way to watch Rick and Morty.
Seeing as we're recording this in Texas, I was not.
Fair. All right.
I'm in the great state of Texas. I was not high. No, of course not.
I mean, I've heard some friends in
course not.
Colorado who do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But
I mean, you know, that's mainly where I go to watch it. Of course.
of course.
I go to Colorado to watch
And
Rick
one of
and
those
Morty.
communistic states. Right. Not in the God-given
Yeah.
freaking
Not,
white.
not here. No, of course not. I travel all the way
God-given
over there
red,
to
white, and blue
watch stuff
Texas.
like Rick and Morty and Trolls. So, you know.
So my pitch is going to be. I've always been really interested in kind of the creation of dual monster cards as we know them today.
Mhm.
So I know they've delved into it in a TV show and everything, but I'd love to see like a movie of like Pegasus like going to like find the stone tablets that contain the cards and kind of the process of him creating those cards.
Would this be similar to like a kind of like the movies, kind of like Jobs and stuff, where it shows like a documentary type? I don't know if that was a documentary or not, but
A biopic.
yeah,
Okay.
there you go, that kind of thing. There you go. Is it like that kind of movie, or is it more of like
no, I was thinking more of like an Indiana Jones adventure story.
okay,
Mm.
Yeah, of like him going to Egypt and trying to find these cards and
that'd be really cool.
yeah, seeing like him like kind of trying to find like, you know what, honestly, like let's tie in all these other stuff like J. Fred talked about, and he starts finding this other stuff and he's like, this doesn't make sense, this is crap. He's like,
What the fuck?
why
Gotta
would
trash
I
these?
he's like, why would I have this little blade spinny thing? What,
A
that doesn't make
top,
sense.
like-
Like he was like,
Kids don't
tosses
play with
it.
tops anymore. Toss that shit down the giant chasm behind him that he jumped over.
And
So you said Indiana Jones style. So would he have an American rerun?
probably, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. We'll probably try to make it less problematic than Rerun was.
Well, fair.
No, he would definitely. Oh, I mean, because he starts rolling. Maybe more like kind of like the relationship in The Mummy that Brendan Fraser's character had with
Okay.
the guy with the Magi. Because I mean, like when I was doing research, he had interacted with Shoddy, the guy that was telling him about the dual monsters cards and
Mhm.
stuff. So he can kind of like, because Shoddy kind of fills that role that like the Magi did in The Mummy, where it was kind of like we're the protectors against this happening, but also really terrible at not letting this happen. So
Yeah.
It's
like
that weird, like, can't tell if this dude's a human or if he's a spirit. Like, what the fuck is up with this dude? Like,
yeah. So maybe like that, like doing an adventure of him finding the tablets and kind of realizing like, and then him trying to create the cards. And so seeing him like create like all those ones, like especially like the big ones, like Like I'd love to see him like trying to create Exodia and it's just too big. So he's like, I have to split this into 5 cards, and like he's so seeing like that. And I know like there's something in the show where like he actually like is when he's creating like the Egyptian gods. I think he sees like a vision of them destroying like an Egyptian city, like stuff like that. Like pretty awesome stuff. And I'd love to see him create the tunes.
I was about to ask, are we gonna
Yeah.
bring in his obsession with the tunes?
Absolutely, yeah.
You got to like.
Like I just imagine like the tunes are like, at least in this universe,
No.
like he makes them because he's like trying to like make his own cards. He's like, I don't need these Egyptian cards. I'll make better cards, and they come out these little like cheesy like kitty ones.
It sounds really terrible. Like if you think too into it, like he's this dude that seems kind of like a weird dude, has a bunch of kid-themed attractions at his place, like cards based on it. Dude
Like-
kind of comes off as a pedophile a little bit.
I think that's absolutely true.
Was Michael Jackson a pedophile? I withdraw the question.
I was like, as the table grows silent, just looks at you. Like,
So we got
I
that.
instantly heard what I said, and I rescind that. Yep. Take it back.
But yeah, seeing him create that, and you kind of get like a little bit of kind of that tragic backstory with him and his wife that he had.
Yeah, that they didn't really
his
talk about
lover,
too
like,
much, just a little bit.
the one that he was using to throw off the scent. Like,
Right.
so getting kind of like that Mr. Freeze like determination where he's like, I lost my like the love of my life when she was young, and I want to bring her back. So that's kind of what leads him on this journey. And you see him find the cards, like the tablets, and then he starts trying to make the cards, and you kind of see like that you probably go disastrously for a lot of times.
So would we see him finding the eye?
Probably, yeah. I know in the TV show he finds the eye when he finds the tablets or something like that.
Yeah, like it's all
Yeah.
like all the ancient Egypt stuff is there.
So, do they ever go in? I don't remember in the show if they mention if he just like pulled his own eye out and then stuck that in,
He
or
didn't
if like
do it. Another guy did it to him.
oh, okay.
He like
So
straight
you
up
could-
came up to him and just like shoved it into his eye.
I thought I remembered it being some kind of a forceful thing, but I was thinking it was like some kind of magical thing where it just like
I mean,
I
theoretically,
think
I
it's
guess
just-
his eye would have to be removed to be able to put this one in it.
But 4
They
kids
do not
won't
show
let
that.
that happen. 4 kids said no.
The guy just kind of holds the eye up to his head. It it like does this bright white shine, and then he just like goes and then like it kind of fades out.
maybe it
kids.
disintegrated his eyeball.
I mean, that's kind of what I was actually thinking. Is like it just kind of
Probably.
replaced it somehow. My magic. I mean,
He's like bends over and a bunch of dust comes out of his eye. But yeah, no. So I mean, definitely got to bring in the Millennium items, and maybe like seeing kind of like those scatter, and maybe that sets up like a sequel where we see like the items come into play. But I think just seeing like how he creates his game would be really cool. And it definitely could see like it being like an adventure of him trying to find these tablets and pursuing that, and then him actually trying to create them, and then in the end he would probably like it'd probably be like the launch day of Yu-Gi-Oh, of like the Yu-Gi-Oh cards
yeah.
and industrial illusions. So and then you see like I don't know, maybe like he really likes the Karibo card, and you see the Karibo card, like he like sends it out, and then like at the very end, like Yugi like opens a pack and Karibo's on top or something.
Yes.
But yeah, so I don't know. I think that'd be really cool, just because I find it really fascinating that he was able to take these tablets and create a card game out of them. I don't know. I know that like the card game, they have like the souls and stuff. But
Well, yeah.
that's just something that I was always really interested in.
Well, some of them did.
It's true. You're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so I think a Pegasus show would or Pegasus movie would just be really cool. And yeah, because I feel like Pegasus was always around after Duel's Kingdom, but like he didn't really do too much.
The
I
guy
actually
who
really like
stole my
Pegasus.
grand. Hey, look! It's the guy who took my grandpa's soul and tried to kill me, and now he's our friend.
That's the power of friendship.
I mean, that's all they talk about in it.
But only
Just
if you
'cause-
buy our cards.
Right.
Could you imagine if there was like fucking like those just ads embedded in the show? It's like,
The show is an ad.
well, I'm talking about like
It's an ad for a children's card game. Okay.
You are watching an ad willingly. That's
The
I'm talking
best
about,
damn
like-
ad ever made.
like
though.
subliminal messages.
fair.
That
I'll give you
forcefully,
that.
Like make
It was
you.
good. It was well done.
That'd be pretty cool.
I didn't feel like I was watching it a sales gimmick the whole time I was watching it.
Stay tuned for our Transformers episode.
It's just like there's no way this show's gonna make me
Another
buy these
ad.
cards. Like your mom walks into your room, it's like, I need Yu-Gi-Oh. Hey, do you have some Yu-Gi-Oh? Do you have money for Yu-Gi-Oh?
If you love me, you'll let me have Yu-Gi-Oh.
Right.
honestly, like, it did work though. Like, one of my memories that I always remember with Yu-Gi-Oh is when I was like, I don't know, probably like 11. It was when they were first, like, it was like the second round of like the collector's tins that they came out with, where it was like the cool ass tin, and then there was like the signature card, and then like 5 packs. And I remember it was like $20, and I was like an 11-year-old child, and I was like, I don't got $20,
Right?
and my stepmom was like, you go pull all the weeds in the yard, I'll get you that tin. And I was like, yeah, $20 to just pull out all the weeds in the front yard and the backyard. That seems like an even trade. And I got that tin.
Little
it was
did you
amazing.
know what manual labor is like.
I actually may still have that tin, honestly.
Tins are fucking.
I have mine actually because I remember I got the one that had Insect Queen in it.
Yeah,
way back in
it
the
was.
day.
It's all banged up now, but I'm pretty sure if I went like to my dad's place and look, man, it was this little aluminum tin. Like, it wasn't gonna last very long.
I don't know, mine's still perfect.
Was it
condition.
aluminum or was it tin?
Those are two different things.
Damn,
Cut that out. Cut that out. Get that little bit out.
I don't know enough to make a strong choice on that.
Right? Like, there was like I'm half and half on that. I'm like, they're different things, but there's also part of me that's like kind of thought they were the same thing. I thought tin was just a general term for it, even though aluminum is what it really is.
I think they were initially made of tin.
Were they?
And they called them tins because they were little containers made of tin, and then they started making them with aluminum, and people just kept calling them tins.
It's like it's an aluminum tin. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Bringing in those facts.
That's why I'm here, right?
He's gonna know it more than me, dude. Like, fuck if I know.
Wait,
Fucking
tin's a thing?
Last science class I took was geology, and that was just for the credit.
Same.
Tins though, like tins for trading card games.
Not
Are
gonna lie, one of
very
the hardest
enticing.
fucking science classes I ever took.
That's so cool. You're like, I can store my cards.
Exactly.
So there's utility too.
And you get a little
Come
fucking
on.
like you get a little window for like your favorite card to put
Did
there.
you ever have any of
You
those
kidding
card
me?
sleeves?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Oh,
Card
that
sleeves
is-
were
You
amazing.
gotta have card sleeves.
I
I remember
getting,
there were
like,
all these
the-
custom ones shops would sell, like all these badass ones with like pictures and stuff.
Yeah, I had some anime inspired ones, and like I remember getting like the cheap ones at Walmart, and they were too large because they were actually secretly for Pokemon cards, but they didn't tell me that.
I had some of those too.
And like it would
had,
like
this
move
special,
around,
like hollow effect on the back.
and it like bothered me. I was like, "What the fuck?" And then like I went to like a card shop, and they're like, "This will work," and it fit there perfectly, and that's when I knew that I get satisfaction out of things like where it fitting perfectly, because I was like, "This is beautiful." I was like,
Oh,
"I love this."
Yep.
So this little snapshot into what young Tyler was like. Anyway,
It's like peeling an onion with you.
No, I like your pitch. I'd watch that. one.
Layers and layers.
I think it would just be interesting, and I mean, it would still incorporate the cards, but it also gives kind of a different genre feel, which I think would be kind of cool, especially because the giant stone tablets. Also, I want to see him try to pull those out of the temples, like without breaking them.
Right. Like,
I'm just
well, that's the
assuming there's
thing.
no
Like,
pyramids.
I'm really
over-
curious because I don't know a whole lot. Like, if I don't think in the show they even really talk much about it, but it's like obviously dude's rich. He hasn't industrial illusions. It's like, but how did he fund his initial expeditions? Because most of his money came from, I believe, like duel monsters.
You know how he got that money?
I don't want to.
Working in the corners.
I could see it.
That's another typical night for Maximilian Pegasus.
Yeah. So those were our movie pitches. I'm sure he got way more information about Yu-Gi-Oh in general than you ever thought you would, just based off of that first 45 minutes. So we're gonna head into our favorite movie segment. With this one, probably not gonna really do favorite movie as much, just because. I mean, there's a few of them and they're cool, but
They're okay.
I'd rather focus on like kind of like we did with the Pokemon one, where we talk about like our favorite series, favorite character, favorite duel, that kind of thing.
Blasphemy.
How dare
Get
you?
over it.
Did you see any of the movies? One?
No.
Okay.
Only the abridged one.
Yes, I think all of our choices would be Bonds Beyond Time abridged.
I mean, the abridged one, you can't beat that. Like, hands down.
When you got Pirate Hitler, like
That sometimes still beats the box office hits that I go see in the theater. Like, you know, like, yeah,
Whoa,
Avengers Endgame was cool,
antagonist.
but have you ever seen Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged, bruh?
But so yeah, so I think we should do favorite series, favorite character, favorite card. Think those three work?
Yeah, we could do favorite card.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, favorite type of card.
Favorite type of
Yeah.
card.
You mean like monster type, right?
Sure.
Are you talking like?
I was thinking like fusion and synchro and stuff.
Yeah, the types
Yeah.
of monsters. Okay. Well, I didn't know if you meant like the 3 like magic trapper monsters.
Oh no.
Trap cards. Obviously, want to
sorry.
fuck everyone.
Sorry,
like-
when you asked that, I thought you were talking about like dragon dinosaur. Like,
no, I meant like the type of like synchro, exes. Yeah, all those.
all that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
All that good stuff.
Some of us will have more options than others, I guess. But
The
you know,
best person to kick it off is J. Fred, the engineer.
if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask them.
Yeah,
Let's
We
go.
got you.
but the viewers
have
will,
all of
or
the
listeners
questions.
will judge you.
Oh, absolutely, and I expect that. Hopefully, they send me hate mail.
Expect nothing less.
I've already got plenty of letters written at home for you. Don't worry.
I appreciate that.
Nothing to
This
do with this current.
motherfucker.
Nothing to do with this current episode. They've just been amassing.
So, what are the questions that I'm answering? Favorite?
So first one will be, which of the generations or series, whatever, was your favorite?
Well, I only saw the first generation, so
Okay.
There you
So
go.
the original Yu-Gi-Oh.
yep. That's
Within that, did you have a favorite season? Like Duelist Kingdom, Battle City, Sealabor, Calcos.
I remember liking Duelist Kingdom, but I think I also liked Battle City. Was that?
Battle City is the main one. It covers, I think, like 2 seasons. That's where the God cards come
Okay, yeah, it was Battle City then, because
Cards are
I
awesome.
really liked. Yeah, was it Obelisk was the blue one, right?
Mhm.
And then the other one was Raw.
Ra was the
something.
gold one. Winged Dragon of Ra.
And then you said Sliver, I think.
Slifer?
Slifer.
Mhm.
Yep. I
Battle
liked.
City's where they actually came out with the real rules for it, you know, like not all the mess that happened and
Hey, you
The
can't
very
just,
first season.
You can't just summon Dark Magician, man. You gotta do something for that.
right, like you can't just throw monsters down. You got to start tributing for them, like sacrificing, and
What the fuck?
there's actually rules. You can't summon 3 monsters in one turn.
How many people do you think quit Yu-Gi-Oh after that was happened? Like,
Half
all,
of
all
them.
the babies who want to be able to just play whatever they want all the time.
what do you mean I can't just bring
The
out
people who don't
five-headed
like to have to
dragon?
think. Like,
There are rules to this shit. If I wanted that, I'd go to Pokemon.
Right?
okay,
Yeah.
well, at least there's a number of characters in there. Like, who would you say? Is that what you said? Favorite character?
Yes, yeah, favorite character was next.
In terms of,
Wrong.
Wrong. He chose Tristan.
I've been
It's
wrong once. It was terrible.
In terms of just like who you like. I mean, if you think of someone that you are like, you can also say that.
So
I'll try and pick.
I always
something for
thought
Yugioh.
both Yugi
Oh,
and
that's
Joey
the
were
best.
pretty likable characters,
Mm.
but
You like
I
Joey?
I actually like Kaiba a lot better. I just think
Yeah.
he's cooler.
Mm.
He is pretty cool.
He has money.
He has the most
Yeah,
normal
that's
hair.
also probably why I liked him. I was like, what's that like?
Screw the rules. I have money.
He's got money.
Do you like him in the blue or the white?
I'm gonna say blue.
Ooh, I was
Bold.
gonna say it's really a hard question, but ooh.
Bold.
Yeah.
You're on your way, and then you just had to go and ruin it.
Well, that's what I do.
I support your choice.
Do you have a favorite card?
Kaiba man.
right. Literally Kaiba as a fucking card.
Nah. I don't know. I really liked all the God cards when they came out. Obelisk was probably my favorite of those.
It was pretty cool.
Before that, I would say Blue Eyes Ultimate was probably my favorite. I never really liked Dark Magician that much. My little brother did,
I think that's for
Yeah.
different reasons.
probably.
It's because when the two of y'all got the stuff, you obviously wanted the Dragon Kaiba deck, so he was stuck with Dark Magician and Yugi deck. That's how my little brother was with ours. So.
I know at one point he got the Kaiba 10 or whatever. So he probably had more dragon cards than I did. I know he got Red Eyes before I did. I was kind of upset about that.
That does suck.
Yeah.
Red Eyes is awesome.
It was a badass card. I hated that it was a little bit weaker than the other.
Yeah, I was like
signature ones,
2400. I
but
was like, come on.
Yeah.
it's because like we're like, oh, it's Joey. We can't have him have a strong monster. Like,
Yeah.
we'll give him a decent monster,
So if we're going with looks, Red Eyes Black Dragon is up there.
hands
It's
down.
super
It's the
awesome.
most metal.
Yeah,
Bold.
Yeah.
super
Sometimes
awesome
literally,
looking
Yeah,
card.
exactly.
True. But also, like we said, kind of weak. So if we're going on the actual card and stats and all that, probably would have been one of the God cards.
Okay.
I never liked that Blue Eyes was kind of like portly. Like,
Yeah, he
I was always confused by that. I was like, this thing's so strong, but like, it's
and like his
got-
head is like really
kinda-
long shaped, like
Yeah.
like it's really just he almost looks like alien kind of like how it has that big long skull
Kind of a bit of
going
a
up.
chunk.
Yeah, I was never big on the way Blue Eyes looked.
Yeah. In my mind, it was always better.
Oh yeah,
I
hands
was
down.
like, it was like a streamlined
And there are
beauty.
some
though.
cards when you look at some of the cards, you're like, okay, he looks badass in this one. Then you see other ones where it's different artwork, and you're like, it's not doing you justice here, bud.
You lost me.
Yeah,
Yep.
like they don't
Fucking
got
up,
that angle
bud.
game.
Fucking
All right, Derek, what you got?
So favorite character, probably gonna be Yusei.
Is it because you went to prison?
I mean, that part was kind of cool. That like, I mean, that whole generation was a little darker. There were some people like there were guns. Someone fell out of a skyscraper. Like there was some dark stuff. Yusei is also the only one in the entire show that hasn't lost a duel. Like Yugi's lost a duel, Jaden's lost a duel. If I remember correctly, Yusei was the only one that never lost, which was it's kind of cool. But he doesn't have that like OP kind of thing. I mean, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember
Are you
him
looking
losing
up
a
if
duel.
you say last to do?
No, it says that he's never lost a game in the series other than in a flashback against Jack when he got defeated.
Oh, yeah.
No, yeah, in the flashback.
That's a flashback.
That was
doesn't
because
count.
Jack stole one of his cards.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that was fucked up. So
yeah, like
We're not gonna
Jack
count
wasn't a good friend.
we're not going to count traumatic experiences.
He stole your card.
There's a
I know I did it in
space.
season 1, but he's a dick.
There's a safe space. We want to talk about childhood trauma.
But you say like he also just has that like he's not cocky like Kaiba or Jack. Like he's good and he knows it, but he's not like he's kind of like you. Well, Yugioh is a little more immature than Yusei, but I don't know. Yusei is
not
probably my
Yu-Gi-Oh.
overall favorite. Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, that's different, obviously. No, I mean he's probably my favorite. I mean I like Merrick too because he was a good villain. What? Merrick was cool.
He started
And it's
shaking
not
his
at
head.
all because it rhymes with Derek. Like I mean, not at all.
Outed yourself.
Wait a minute.
Wait a second.
Let's see. Favorite. So that was favorite character. Oh, favorite generation. That's right. 5Ds. 5Ds would be my favorite one. It was it's close between that and the original, but I think 5Ds boosted over for me. And then what favorite card?
Tell us a little bit more about why you like 5Ds.
Oh, well,
Do you like all 5Ds at once? Or
Can you fit all 5Ds?
there's as many Ds as there are. No, I mean all the characters were interesting. Like seeing the theme decks they have. Like I was really into synchro summoning when I saw it. Like I thought it was. At times was it a little BS and like it made things a little tougher. Yeah, but like it really was well balanced. Like I was never into fusion cards or sometimes having to sacrifice too many monsters. So they came out with a lot of new cards when 5Ds came out. So I enjoyed that.
It's the beginning of really, well, archetypes had already been kind of around, but I feel like 5Ds really is what exploded it.
Yeah, like there were some in like GX, like again, like the elemental heroes, the masked heroes, like the crystal beasts. But yeah, 5Ds they really started theming more characters around them.
This is your identity now. You like Black Wings. You are now named Crow.
Right, like your
You
name
only
is
can
literally Crow, and you have a Blackwing deck.
You
Like
can
it was
only
very
make
obvious.
bird puns.
Right. He did do that quite a few times too. Yeah.
The boy's
but
3 days
overall
old.
just-
Why are you doing this?
The stories were good. Like the battles were pretty epic. I mean, they were in the original Yu-Gi-Oh too. Like one of my favorite duels is from the original Yu-Gi-Oh. But as a series overall, I think I'd go with 5Ds just because a lot of the villains were really well done.
Okay.
Whereas in the original Yu-Gi-Oh, like Merrick was good, but some of the other ones were kind of half-assed. Like Bakuro felt like an oddball thing to throw at the very end there.
Yeah, I felt like they never truly understood what to do with Bakura.
Yeah, like he was a friend, but then he wasn't, but he was, and then like he wasn't really that strong, let's be honest. And then he is the main bad guy, and it's like, should he really be this hard to defeat? Like you've kicked his ass once or twice before, like he's nothing special. And then again, like the villains in GX, I was not. Gonna lay
The
off
light.
of that one.
The
Yeah,
light.
yes, the light. Gotta see the light. But
were you blinded by the light?
Jaden was.
Jaden actually was, yeah.
He couldn't see his cards anymore because of the light.
Was he revved up like a deuce?
Douche.
Another runner in the night?
I know what you're going for.
I'm glad.
I
But I'm just
acknowledge
saying, like,
it,
when
but
I
I'm
did
ignoring
first hear
it.
that, when my mom first played that song for me once, I did think it said douche in it. Like,
I did too.
You're like, it's natural.
Yeah.
Favorite card? Fuck. That's a tough one because there's so many. I like all the ones that fuck people. But I don't like it when they're used against me.
You don't like to get fucked?
I mean, it depends on who's doing it. But
With
I guess,
5Ds?
it's hard to say no to that kind of night, but I don't know. That's a tough one. I really like Slifer, like look wise. Like if we're going aesthetics wise, like I loved Slifer. I always thought he was like the coolest of the god cards.
Yeah, he always goes. He just keeps going and going. We don't know where he really ends.
Right? Like he was just like this massive beast, and like he's got a lot of BS effects too.
Keeps going and going.
I was trying to think if there's a card that I use a lot in the. No, one of my favorite cards probably Red Eyes Darkness Metal. A BS effect, badass looking, pretty strong.
Let's look at this bad boy. Let's look him up.
The Red Eyes Darkness Metal.
He is really cool.
Yeah. Basically, he's the one I use to summon all my dragons from the graveyard.
Ooh, this guy looks pretty cool.
And he's super easy to get out. Like he's the easiest thing to summon, and he
Yeah.
has a BS effect. Like
He's a pretty cool looking guy.
that's probably one of the ones I would go with. Like I know there's plenty of that I would consider my favorites, but it's hard to think of all of them right now. So I'll go with that. Yeah.
Okay.
That good old bad boy.
All right, Brandon.
B-Ran. What you got?
All right, so we're starting with our favorite show first.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so
Brains.
it's gonna be
I secretly watch it at night when Tyler's asleep.
yeah.
So he doesn't know about my shame.
So it's actually gonna be Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I'm just kidding. Jaden's terrible. It's actually gonna be Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds because it's honestly the most interesting one of the batch. From when I was a kid, I not watched any of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Shows since I was a kid, but 5Ds was just fun because they were playing games on motorcycles and the dragons were really cool in there.
On what?
On
Motorcycles.
What are motorcycles?
So yeah, I would say my favorite character is Kayaba. I really don't feel like I need to explain that because he is the best character in all of Yu-Gi-Oh!
You do
Who is
need to
Kaiba?
explain that.
Who is Kaiba?
Who is Kayaba?
What's his first name?
Seto
Okay.
Kayaba.
What's his brother's name?
What's his
Mokuba.
actual last name? That's what I thought.
What's
What is his actual last name, Derek?
It doesn't say.
Exactly.
What's his dueling record?
He's lost a bajillion times.
Who's the one person he can't beat?
Yugi?
Himself.
Incorrect.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Pharaoh.
Pharaoh. But no, Kaiba's my
I
favorite.
guess Yugi does stand his own against him too, but
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Who's going to lose to a gimp? Like,
fair.
But yeah, Kaiba's my favorite character because he's the most entertaining for me. And to be honest, most of my exposure to Yu-Gi-Oh! These days, besides playing the game, is the Bridge series, and Kaiba's 100% the funniest person in that series.
He is pretty good because
Yeah.
like everyone's bought into what's going on. Like, oh, Pharaoh, ancient Egypt, and Kaiba's like, yeah, I don't know about any of that bullshit, but I want the good cards. Give me the god cards. Like, they're like, I'm not gonna believe in all this like mumbo jumbo.
No, like the best one is like when
I
they're
just wanna
fighting darts and like Joey gets taken over and the Pharaoh's like, Kaiba, do not kill one of my friends.
Yeah.
All right, Pharaoh, I promise. And then you hear off screen like a beam blast and it's like, Kaiba, stop trying to kill Joey.
Yeah, because he just shits on everyone else, and that's a good fight too. Because yeah, Joey goes out and he's just like, I knew Wheeler couldn't fucking cut it. Like every fucking time, you're a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck.
He's
Hey,
also
Yug.
got the best.
Hey, Yug.
And as Derek just mentioned, he's got the best insults.
He
It just
does.
cuts you deep.
in
He
ways you
does.
never thought it could.
Right.
All right, so favorite character card, Cyber Dragon. That was just like
Ooh,
one of the
Cyber
first.
dragons are pretty
Just
cool.
the
Yeah.
just the base one? Or
Yeah,
was there a specific
yeah. That
one?
was like I used to have it, and when I was a kid, I couldn't afford to get a real Cyber Dragon deck because that should be expensive. So that was like the first deck I went out and made when I got myself the Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't even remember what the name of the newest game is. to be-
Legacy of the Duelist, right?
Yeah, Legacy of the Duelist. Yeah, Cyber Dragons are awesome. It's just more of a nostalgia thing. If I would
That's
really
got a
good, too.
effect. Like,
Yeah.
I
They're one
like
of
their effect that they can bring them out in their 2100, but you can summon them. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're one of the more popular like OTKs.
Yeah.
Like a 1-turn kill. Like people use them for that. So
Yeah, Cyber Dragons are really fun to use. Also, like,
'Cause you know what they're allergic to? Elemental heroes.
elemental heroes are trash.
Zane went dark because of that.
Name one.
fair, but Zane did also defeat his elemental heroes
yeah.
before too.
If you get beat by Jaden, you're probably gonna go dark.
That's
yeah,
fair.
well, yeah. I mean,
Tyler,
I'm just gonna say that Chaz
Chaz
started wearing
was-
dark clothing after that.
Alexis went dark at one point.
It's true, yeah.
Tyler, I just want you to look me in the
Even
eye
Jaden
and
went
admit to
dark.
me that anytime Jaden wins, it's out of pure luck.
I will say the one thing I fucking hated. It set my OCD off so fucking bad in GX is every time, it equals exactly 0 life points. 100%. There's no overage where
He always
he
has
has
100.
Yeah, he has 100 left, and there's never any. He took 400 damage. He takes 2,000 damage. Like he always takes the 100 that takes it to 0, and I fucking hate that because that doesn't happen. You never get exactly on the dot.
Yeah, that seems very highly unlikely. I'm not going to say
And
it can't happen, but
No, but highly
like,
unlikely.
yeah.
For 50-something episodes straight.
Yeah.
Like every duel, he gets down to 100 and he like fucking kills them perfect number. Like,
I see.
you have 600 left? I get you a 600 damage.
Yeah.
2,000 left? 2,000 damage.
You've unlocked my protagonist power.
Right.
Whoa, tagonist.
Yugi's got heart of the cards. He's got like spirit animals and perfect perfect life point deduction. Yusei's got a bike. I mean, they've all got their powers.
Yeah.
It's got bike.
He's also got a Glock.
Right?
You know he's back.
He's got a
seen New
piece in
Domino
the,
City.
little, in the dashboard of his thing. He can pop open the glove compartment and just start shooting at bitches when he's driving.
All right, Juan, your turn.
My turn. All right. So we're starting off a series. I don't want to keep fucking saying like 5Ds because
Yeah, you can't have two favorites. It's your favorite.
uh,
But try to
It's-
add something different about than
it's-
everybody else said.
it's between GX and 5D, and GX only because of dinosaurs, because dinosaurs are really cool. And GX showed GX had this character named Tyranno Hasselberry. He had
Yeah.
a bunch of fucking dinosaurs, and
Sarge.
that was like what got me into
Sorry.
like that's the guy that got me more into like Yu-Gi-Oh, is because I didn't know they had dinosaur cards.
So they got a whole type about it.
Exactly,
Dude.
they had a whole fucking type for dinosaurs. I didn't
Isn't
even know.
there someone in the first
Yeah,
season?
Rex.
it's
Rex Raptor,
Rex
yeah.
Raptor, but I didn't
Yeah.
know that because I didn't watch
But
it.
his signature card was Red Eye, so like
Yeah, I
kind
didn't.
of counts, kind of doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one because I didn't watch the original series, so I didn't even know that Rex
okay.
Raptor was a character. But I didn't know about
Hasselberry was a better
Hasselberry.
dino duelist for sure.
Yeah, I feel like they focused more on dinosaurs on the second season because I don't know if Rex Raptor. I don't know if there was a lot of actual dinosaur cards in the base game and like the original.
No, they weren't very good.
Not a lot.
They
Yeah.
were all pretty weak. Like I just remember that one that comes in Kaiba's deck, that Urabi or whatever, that
Yeah.
black Tyranno. It's like 1,500
Oh,
points, and I was
yeah.
like, the one dinosaur card,
Yeah,
and it is the most ass fucking card here.
And
Okay.
like a little dinosaur.
Like Black
I
Stego.
don't remember
like,
that one. I think I
Little dice.
barely remember it.
Like Black Stego and.
That's when they
Ultimate.
started getting a little better. They had some
Yeah,
effects now.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
But then now they have like the Jurax, which are fucking good, and
All fire based. They are awesome.
there's like a Robo Dinosaur one.
There's also a Kaiju one that goes into Kaiju decks.
Those are tough, dude. That's a tough deck. I've tried to make one. It's fucking.
Kaiju ones.
It's hard because they're.
Yeah.
It's just hard to make it work. Like
Yeah.
they're complicated.
Yeah. So I guess I would go with GX because of Hasselberry.
Is he
Not
also
because
your
of the
favorite
actual
character?
main
Is he also your favorite character?
He's also my favorite character.
Okay. I was like, did you just
And
answer
this-
the other question?
This leads into the fucking next question. Is he's also my favorite character because of dinosaurs? And like, if you look at his design, he's like this really muscular tan character with like a dinosaur hat. He's also got dreadlocks, but he's really cool.
Anyone want to wager if his favorite card is a dinosaur card?
Oh, dude, get ready.
He's like, bro,
Get ready, bitch. I already
Superconductor Tyranno right here.
I'll do you.
Damn.
I'll do you one better. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno.
There
because
you go.
I actually built a deck around like a whole bunch of Ultimate Conductor Tyrannos. So fucking good. You would like kill a bunch of dinosaurs and all go to the graveyard. You'd like start like a miscellaneous dinosaur, and then you just spawn in a fucking Ultimate Conductor Tyranno out of nowhere. But yeah, that would be my favorite card is Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, or the card that actually got me into like watching a few episodes of the first one, not fully watching episodes of the first season, but like watching the actual original anime was UFO Turtle. Because
Really?
my cousin had UFO Turtle, and he's like, "Yeah, check out this fucking cool ass card game." I'm like, "What?"
Of
And
all
he showed me
cards.
UFO Turtle. I'm like, "What the heck is this?"
It is an interesting one.
UFO.
Yes.
I feel like that shows up in one episode,
I
like
don't-
the most obscure card.
UFO Turtle is the
Like
thing.
if
that
you
got
said
me
catapult
watching.
turtle, I'll be like, okay, I get that. It's used several times, but
UFO Turtle.
good God,
Knowing one, that tracks.
Yes, UFO
That
Turtle.
tracks.
not pyramid turtle, not catapult turtle, UFO turtle.
So yeah, favorite card,
Okay.
Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, because he looked really cool. If like the listeners have the chance to look up Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, look him up. He has like a bunch of fire around him, and he's like conducting a bunch of energy. So
No, I mean you're right on that one. He's definitely a good card. He's a
Um,
powerhouse.
But yeah, favorite card. Is there another one? Or was that it?
No, I think that's it.
Ultimate Conductor Tyranno.
Ultimate Conductor.
Yeah,
Timer.
Tyler's like, well, now you've taken all of my stuff. Okay.
Hell yeah, I wanted to fucking lay out all the dinosaurs ones before fucking Tyler would say them.
He's like,
My-
don't worry, there's more.
My dinosaur card's different than yours.
There's so many you can pick, bro.
So yeah, so for me, favorite season's definitely going to be GX. I love GX. I love the different story arcs that they had. And I mean, even though some of them was kind of ridiculous, but like all the stuff that they had was just like ridiculous. I mean, it fucking takes place at Duelist Academy, and you get
Oh,
things
yeah.
like there's like cult called the Light coming in, and it takes out Jaden, and then Jaden can't see his cards anymore, and he has to like interact with his Neospatian cards that he finds that were sent into space, and they got
Right, like,
Neospace
These
energy.
aliens become cards that like he ends up getting, and there's only like
So-
one of each one in existence, and he has them because they literally came from like cosmic energy in space.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
Like,
Because he has this like ability. Oh, sorry, go for it.
he won this contest as a kid to like and to create new cards, and they put it in his time capsule. They shot into space, and they were all these Neospatian cards, and they like got caught in these like Neospace like cosmic rays, and they absorbed it, and they became like real. And he can see spirits, so he sees the spirits and can actually talk to them, and that's
Yeah,
how he
can
like
commune with
can,
like
like-
dual spirits.
yeah.
You see
Okay.
why they make and Bonds Beyond Time like a bridge, like how he's the one they shit on.
Remember
Like,
the
yeah.
like I
Yeah.
see,
They're just
everybody's like
fucking
I see
weird and
dead
out
people.
there.
Yeah.
That's why. Like
That makes sense.
'cause
I
the-
got a very sixth
Like
sense
when he talks about you,
thought when you
he's
said
like,
that.
It's like the demon who lives inside my head. Like
Yubel
like,
was like his like childhood friend, like card that
because
like,
everyone thought he was just kind of crazy, had an imaginary friend, you know, but he did see this like spirit, and it was
yeah.
not the best of spirits.
It was a little malevolent. It became a bad guy in the series until they did like a
To
kind
be
of.
fair, that is on him.
Yeah, I mean it is, but yeah, and like he sees like Wing Karibo and stuff like that. But that's a big thing for him is being able to see like dual spirits.
Interesting.
But it was kind of like I know it was really ridiculous, but like when GX first came out, I was like, this is really cool. Like he's seeing these spirits, and like he can he couldn't see his cards. It's like holy shit, like he can't see them. Like how's he gonna deal with this? And then like the Neospatians like help him be able to see them, and he creates like a more powerful deck because of it. And I thought that was really cool. And when they're trying to deal with the Sacred Beasts, when I think the Shadow Riders, I think was their name.
Yeah.
When they came to take down all the different people to get their keys so they can unlock the Shadow Riders, or so they can unlock the Sacred Beast, that was a really cool arc for me. It was really ridiculous, though, because Jaden had to destroy half of them.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool. I will say though, I don't feel like the Sacred Beast lived up to
No,
it.
definitely
Like they were
not.
literally just rip-offs of the Egyptian god cards that were like dumbed down a little bit.
Yeah.
Like they even look pretty similar, and I was like, the whole concept is amazing. I wish they would have done something a little different with what the Sacred Beasts were.
Yeah. That would have been nice.
It was good.
Um,
And that final season where he becomes like the Supreme King or whatever,
Yeah.
Jaden turns evil and like everyone's trying to save him. That was pretty cool.
yeah. So he has a really interesting arc. The characters were really cool. For the most part, like Chumley, don't really care about. Like
Chumley was
There-
and his
there's-
koala cards.
there's a reason why he
Fucking- oh my
disappeared. Like, but like Hasselberry was awesome. Jesse was really cool.
Jesse was cool.
Jesse was like Jaden's best friend. He's the one that had the rainbow beast. I always remember the episode where they first fought, and he's like, "And I'm gonna summon a rainbow dragon," and then
Oh,
he's
wait,
like,
I don't have that card.
"Just kidding. I haven't actually found that yet." So like it was just ridiculous that you found someone that was pretty much him, like, with the Crystal Beast, and the Crystal Beast actually talked to Jesse, which was really cool. So seeing that relationship, Alexis was badass. She was definitely way out
I
of
didn't like
just.
her cards though.
I didn't like the cyber skaters
skaters
and
and
stuff like
stuff,
that
yeah.
either. Because I remember I used to go to like these sneak preview card events, and I got like all these Cyber 12s and Cyber Blader, and I was like, stop, no,
Right? Like I don't want these.
But the elemental heroes, I love their designs. They had really cool powers. Does it always translate to real life? Not so much. But they can be really cool. I like the Crystal Beasts. I love the Cyber Dragons. Zane was really cool. I love the Vehicroids that Cyrus had.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know.
I
Like I just
hated those.
I don't know why, but like I just really like the Vehicroids. Like,
No, I mean, you like what you like.
like I was like I was like I need a deck of these, and I was like I don't know why, but I'm into this fucking cop car that has eyes that's like alive. Like,
Question though, not necessarily about that, but about like so Jaden with his deck. Do you think part of it comes from your love of superheroes? Is why you liked his deck?
oh yeah, definitely, yeah. I mean, he's got cards like his field card is a city, and there's a spotlight in the
spotlight with a D in it.
like it was definitely because of that, and so I just like that there was so many cool, unique designs. I mean, they weren't the best, like half of them to even have effects, but like the fusions were cool.
No, yeah, like his cards kind of weak, but when you fusioned with him, like there were some badass ones
Yeah.
in there, like Tempest and
Yeah, Flame Wingman was cool. Like Thunder Giant was
I like
always
the
really
evil
cool.
ones.
The evil ones.
The evil heroes that like when he turns evil, he can turn his beasts into like the necro versions, kinda.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
Those were cool.
Oh, crap. What's his name? Aster Phoenix.
Oh, with his Destiny
Yeah.
heroes,
And he like uses like
that was
the
such
alternate,
a dick move. If you
the
thought
alternate
Kaiba was a
elemental
dick,
heroes, like he's like, oh yeah, I have elemental heroes too, but they combine differently, and you're just
right?
like,
He's like, I've got
huh?
Destiny
What?
hero cards and elemental hero cards. Like he wants to like beat Jaden or like no, he goes and like does like a world like televised show using the elemental hero. So now
Yeah.
if Jaden never does it, looks like he's copying
like Jaden's
him.
poser. Like,
Yeah.
so
That's such
he's
a dick
probably
move.
more of the Kaiba of that series, like Aster Phoenix. Kind of forgot about him.
Yeah,
like,
I say Chaz, yeah, but Aster Phoenix definitely,
Yeah.
at least for a little while.
But they just had cool cards. I really like the stories, the arcs they had. See, all the characters was pretty dynamic. It wasn't like one of my big gripes with the original Yu-Gi-Oh was that outside of Yugi, Joey, and Kaiba, like you started kind of losing your personalities with Taya and Tristan.
They were very bland. They dueled once each and they sucked. Like
yeah.
there's nothing to them really.
Plus, like the whole like idea of like dorms and like this whole like private school that had like Obelisk Blue and Slifer Red and like Raw Yellow, and seeing the Slifer Red that just kind of like takes over.
This is real.
Yeah, like I was like, this is so cool. Like, you know, and at the time it came out, I was like, you know, a kid that was like still in school and stuff, and I was just like, this should be my life, like kind of like Harry Potter. So,
Which would you have been in? Which
Uh,
dorm?
I don't know. I'd like to think I'm half competent. I'd probably be Raw Yellow. I'm not an excellent duelist, but I'm a decent duelist. Like,
That's fair. That's
yeah.
fair.
So I think I would be in that middle ground where I'm not like the.
If obviously if we're taking out the fact that all the blue people were pretty much like rich people who could afford the good cards. If we're talking like if everyone had cards at their disposal, like
based
that's a
off
different
ability,
story. Yeah.
Like, I think I'd be in Raw Yellow. I don't think I'd be in Slifer Red. But yeah, so I think that's where I would be. You know,
I think I could do Obelisk Blue.
maybe if I trained hard enough again, Obelisk Blue, kind of like how
Again, like I don't have
like-
I don't have the money to afford the cards, but if like in the video game you cheat to give yourself all the cards and you just build decks off of that, it's fine.
Yeah, kind of like Cyrus. You know, he went from Slifer Red to like Obelisk Blue throughout the series.
Which I don't know how the fuck that happened. Like he had the word again. Vehicroids are okay,
He had
Tyler,
heart.
but
He had
they
heart.
fucking sucked. So did Jaden. Well, I guess Jaden got the opportunity to
The
move up. He
Vehicroids are
chose
cool.
not to.
Plus, I really like Cyrus's deal with Zane. I thought that was pretty cool.
The brother dynamic
Yeah.
was really nice.
Yeah, I don't know why I like the Vehicroids. Like the
It was a
fusions
lot
were
better
just-
than the Kaiba Mokuba brother thing,
Yeah,
where one's
yeah.
a damsel in distress all the time. Big brother.
Yeah,
Where's
it was-
Mokuba?
It was better because
Like a Batman type thing. Where's Mokuba? I have his soul in this card. Give him to me.
What about his other brother Noah?
Adopted brother.
Still
I mean,
brother.
you're right. It was. I like how they're like, no, Noah, we understand why you're upset. We're gonna be like closer because of this, like this and that, and then never seen in the series again. like we get that why you're upset, like this and that. Like we're gonna be somewhat better brothers, but then like no.
Yeah.
Kaiba had that dude killed off. 100%. Kaiba had Noah killed off. Like
I was pretty sure he did die, didn't he?
I don't think he did.
I don't remember.
Un
You fact
momento.
check.
I don't know. I feel like the original Yu-Gi-Oh didn't get that dark.
You
but I don't
fact
know.
check. I'll go to character.
Okay, you do
So,
that.
Like the fact that like even Yugi's parents, it's kind of like I don't know if it ever says that they died. They're just gone.
Yugi doesn't have parents.
He was just born straight from his grandpa.
Got a
Just
granddad.
popped out of granddaddy.
Uh,
All right, Tyler. Character.
So honestly, I don't know. It's kind of tough because I think I want to say like my favorite character may be like Yugi. I really like I love the Pharaoh, but I think I always appreciate Yugi the most because this guy's like riding his body, like he's like okay with that, and like I just liked like because the Pharaoh was this like you're like this is the guy, like you're like the ultimate guy that like he's gonna be able to do anything, but like when he was down, like Yugi came and helped him. And like the whole thing with like him and Pegasus, like when he fought Pegasus and they had to flip back and forth.
That was really cool.
And like Pharaoh's like, Yugi, you can't do that. Like the Shadow Realm will take it out of you, and like you could die. And he's like, I don't care. And like they were coordinating. Like that was really cool. And he's always like, I don't know. I also just liked how positive he was.
He kept the Pharaoh in check.
Yeah.
Like the Pharaoh wasn't necessarily always good by nature. Like
he's kind of a bad guy sometimes.
there's a duel where his evil is unleashed, and like Yugi's like, dude, don't play this card, don't do it. And then he literally like bitch slaps Yugi. He's like, get off of me, like, and then he does it, and then Yugi pays the price for it. Like he loses his soul. Like he keeps him in check and like reels him in a little bit. Because he puts up with a lot of shit.
Yeah, I think Yugi is like the best parts of Jaden. Because I really like Jaden, like, and I know like he's super dumb and he's like.
But he's really not bad. Like,
yeah,
he's just
like,
you have to poke fun at someone, so might as well be Jaden.
Out of all the protagonists, it definitely should be Jaden.
Or Yuma.
Yeah. And so, but like, I feel like with Jaden, like, I don't know. There's just like that piece missing. I feel like Yugi, maybe it's because he's got the Pharaoh too, but like, I just really like that dynamic. And I always thought like he didn't get as much time to shine just because it was Pharaoh's game. But like he was there, like the important moments. And like, you're like, he's kind of like the chips are down kind of guy. He's going to be there to help you out. Even though you're like, this little kid ain't going to do shit for me.
Yeah.
Like, he still was able to like pull him back and like help him beat Pegasus when he didn't think he'd be able to at all because he could read his mind and stuff. Like,
and not to mention like the final duel where like him and the Pharaoh have to actually separate and duel each other. Like I don't think anyone saw Yugi winning that shit. And he's like, this whole time I knew you'd play the 3 god cards. Like I took him down. And then like when he busts out that one move with the gold sarcophagus, he's like, all along, Pharaoh, like I know you. I know what you're going to do. So he's like, I locked away the monster reborn, so now if you use it, you can't. And then he won the duel because of it. Like he's like, I played you.
Chills.
It did. Like I'm not gonna lie, it gave me goosebumps watching. Because I was like, no one saw this little punk ass pipsqueak. And then even at that scene, Kaiba's kind of like, I've been wrong this whole time. Yugi really is the king of games. He took down the god cards and the Pharaoh. Like.
Also,
Props.
he helped Kaiba through his trauma of missing the Pharaoh. So,
right, and that
he
movie,
he was better emotionally adjusted than
right? He's like, he's in a better place. Let him rest. Like, no one misses him more than me. He shared my body, for God's sake.
So, on the Seto Kaiba page, it does say adoptive brother deceased for Noah Kaiba, but it doesn't say on Noah's page that he died. So.
Interesting.
So someone knows something.
Who do we believe?
Yeah.
Question is, which side knows what?
The hair guy. The hair guy assaulted him. That's what happened. My hair is
guy.
assaulting you. That wasn't in the Yu-Gi-Oh movie abridged. You have to watch the abridged show for that one. Well, there's this dude that's like one of Pegasus's henchmen, and he has like this, like just fucking unicorn horn of hair and like these black sunglasses. He's like a man in black, and yeah, in the abridged, like he's always like his hair is his identity.
It's like Tristan being Barney is his.
Right. Hey, look, Tristan. Hey, look, I'm on TV. And there's like a purple. No, Tristan, that's just a big purple dinosaur.
In 4 hours, the sun will come up.
When he starts singing, he's like, I love you. You love me. They're like, what are you doing?
So as far as favorite card goes, unsurprisingly, because I love dinosaurs, it's a dinosaur card. And it is going to be the card that I have based around a deck I had in real life, which is Tyranno Infinity.
Tyranno, you based a deck around Tyranno Infinity?
Fuck yeah.
I was thinking that one, but I also
Tyranno
thought maybe
Infinity.
Black Tyranno.
I mean, those are good too, and they were in the deck, but like my whole point of that deck was to
Was
get
to
cards
fucking get a big
removed from play so I can bring Tyranno Infinity in, and I brought him in, and he'd have 9,000 points. Like,
I was trying, when he was talking about his, I
psychopath.
kept trying to think of that card. But I kept getting confused with like the Infernity cards from 5Ds. But Tyranno Infinity removed from play.
yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah.
Okay.
You get 1,000 points for every.
I do
dinosaur
remember
card.
you using that card in the
Yeah.
game. I remember
Yeah.
seeing that shit in your deck. Fuck that
Yeah.
You
card.
gotta banish dinosaur cards. So you banish 9, like a whole fucking. Like,
I mean, it's a
pile of them.
risky thing
I had
because
to
you're,
do what I had to do,
you're
man.
banishing all your cards.
For
But
a
like,
for a big ass Tyranno Infinity.
It was awesome though, and then like I saw the big ones, but like Macrocosmos, everything that died went straight out to remove from play, and then I'd bring in Tyranno Infinity, it'd be like 8,000 points.
yeah, you
I'd
get
fuck some
like
shit
so
up,
many for
like-
every single one in that pile.
Did you ever get countered like you're finally like, all right, this is my final play, Tyranno Infinity, and somebody's just like, a card that
Someone's
just
like, "Oh,
fucks
we
you.
shuffle all of our banished cards back into our deck," and you're like, "No!"
The Tyranno Infinity just becomes an egg again.
Yeah, he's like 0 points, and you just get fucking one-shotted for the game.
That could definitely
I've
happen.
had
Like,
similar things happen.
I can see that as a possibility.
I feel like that's always the worst.
Because sometimes, like, you can have the best strategy, one card fucks
One
you
card
over, and
completely fucks
I mean, it's honestly Magic Cylinder, and like you just. all
I mean,
those
that's a
points that
big one,
just
too,
attack
yeah.
You, it just comes back like. No, I
Magic
just.
Cylinder, Draining Shield. There's so many that like could turn that tide like that.
No, I just love all the dinosaur cards. Like, for the most part, they're all pretty solid. Like, they all have cool effects, and it's really interesting. Like, the Jirax really kicked into overdrive. Like, they had some really cool abilities. They had just some. I mean, they were fire
No, but
fire
those are the
dragon
fire
or
ones,
fire
right? Yeah.
dinosaurs. So like, you're like, how can you not love that? Like, and that was. I remember getting the synchros for like Drax. I was like, holy shit, these are awesome. Like, but yeah, no, Tyranno Infinity. Like, I base my deck. I always make that deck because I just love how I love how it plays. I just love the look, like this T-Rex that's like also like got like all these weird like glowy things around it. That's like, and yeah, it's just a badass card, and I've always loved it, and I will probably continue making decks in it in every game I make.
Did I tell you in like the newest game, there's a new like archetype called like the Dino Wrestlers, and they're literally like
Yeah.
dinosaur
yeah.
luchador, like they're in wrestling outfits and like a ring, and
Wow.
they're actually not bad. I have a
They were
deck.
pretty cool. Yeah, I
That
looked
does
them
sound
up.
like more Juan. That
Yeah.
sounds like Juan. I have it in the game. Like I made a deck around it. Not bad. Like they're not the best, but they're not
They
bad.
They
Like
looked cool. Like
they
looked
hold
really
they hold
big.
their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still feel like there's one big, not the Jirax, but there's another. Oh, the Volval. That's what they were.
Oh yeah, I didn't like those
Because they
they're
start out
like-
as the little baby reptiles, and you have to turn them into the
yeah,
dinosaurs.
I don't like that
Yeah.
because like there's like evils and then like
The evil.
evil swords and then evil drakes or something. Like,
Yeah, that's what they
Yeah.
were. Yeah.
Get
And
this shit
I just
out
didn't
my
like that because I was
face.
like, I need this to be all dragons all the time. Like, I need to use the card. What is it? Isn't it like
dinosaurs?
Jurassic World or something? Like,
Yeah, Jurassic World's a
Yeah.
good one, and then that fossil dig or the dig site one or whatever
Yeah.
that lets you look for cards. Like,
there's so many kinds of cards for the dragons or the dinosaurs. Like, you get Elementosaurus, which is like if you have Earth cards or Fire cards, you get different effects. And yeah, it's a whole thing. But so those are my favorites. Clearly, obviously.
Dinosaurs.
So that wraps up that section.
Who would have ever guessed?
I know, surprising.
right, like the Jurassic Park freak over here. Like,
Well, technically, the listeners, unless you know Tyler, you're not gonna know that he likes dinosaurs. So
I guess that's fair.
That's a good point. They will though.
Tyler likes dinosaurs.
They will.
The dinosaur cards are pretty cool. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I love them. I mean,
Fucking
A,
wicked.
because they're dinosaurs, and
Well, if
B,
you ever
just
get the
because-
newer game, you could test your metal there, Tyler.
that's like a whole like money thing.
Exactly. That's a whole.
It's like $20, but okay.
That's a
that
crit-
tin could get you all the cards you want now, Tyler.
I can't get $20 for weeds anymore, dude. Now I gotta use my own money. Like,
You can go mow lawns. Someone will pay you $20 after
no one
a
wants
couple
me
lawns.
paying. No one wants me to be mowing lawns. All right.
Hey, I saw a lawn out here that. Oh wait, that was yours.
Exactly.
There's one that needs mow. Oh, that's your backyard.
Facts. Not even gonna fight that. All right, now that we've finished up the favorite movie / gen / card / character / whatever,
////.
we're gonna get into the audience question segment. So we wanted to bring all of you into our maelstrom of madness. No other way to put it. So we asked for questions from people like you for the crew to answer about this week's topic. So we got a lot of good questions, mostly from Derek, because as you can tell, he's kind of obsessed. So next
That is
question.
the
Look, I
word.
love children's card games. Okay.
At least it's card games.
What's wrong with children's games? Candyland's fun. Okay. Grow up.
I'm glad it's that.
As
kind of
long as
game.
you don't play it in your van.
It's fair.
Mm.
Usually play in the bounce house.
Yeah.
But
So anyway, so outside of the god cards, what do you guys think? Who had the best signature card? Doesn't have to be just main protagonist. It can be like their cronies.
Mm. Yu-Gi-Oh's Dark Magician.
Signature
Fucking
cards.
Yu-Gi-Moto's Dark Magician. Let's go, baby.
Objectively terrible.
Leave now, please.
Find that Yugi is
Excuse
fucking-
you.
what the
Card
fuck was it?
belonged to the pharaoh.
Karibo.
Okay, calm down. Wasn't Yugi.
True.
Karibo.
No, that might have been Yugi.
That was
Karibo.
definitely
Karibo
Yugi.
was Yugi.
I say Yugi was more of
Honestly,
a.
you know what? I
mean,
like little like cutesy
Karibo's
things.
also listed under Yami Yugi.
No, yeah, some of them are shared between the two of them, and then some of them are more one or the other. But
Just because I like the whole like cutesy thing, I really liked. That's why I really like Karibo. So I'm gonna go Karibo on my favorite one. That's like signature card.
What about
Well,
like Blue Eyes Toon
No.
Dragon?
You willing
Karibo.
to die on that bridge?
Yes.
I would say Toon World is a
Toon World
signature.
is a signature.
Toon
But that does, and
I
in relation, does encompass like most of the tunes
Because
because
it
you
takes
have to
the
have
blue
Toon
eyes to
World.
make Toon Eyes.
Yeah.
was Toon World like Pegasus' signature? Because he's like
Yeah,
looking
Toon,
up to-
yeah.
okay,
Toon
I would
World,
say so.
Toon
Okay, yeah.
World, and Thousand Eyes Restrict are his, or
Okay.
Relinquished are his
Oh
two things.
god, that
No, I'm still
fucking
just-
I don't
card.
give a fuck about ritual cards.
I'm switching to Karibo.
Hey, they're
That
relevant.
one actually was a good one though.
I mean,
Like,
it
most
was,
of them
yeah,
are
it
trash.
was, yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I'm still gonna stick with
what about you,
Karibo.
Brandon? Like, fuck this.
I'd say my favorite one is just Blue Eyes White Dragon. I mean, you gotta go for the easy one. It's like one of the most iconic Yu-Gi-Oh cards in existence, and it's better than Dark Magician and Red Eyes Dragon. So shut up, Karibo.
He's like, I don't know about that.
Better as in a better card to have? Sure, I'd probably rather have Blue Eyes than Red Eyes, but a cooler card, Red Eyes for sure.
That's
Blue
what
Eyes
we're
has
going
the Blue Eyes archetype has so much cooler cards than the Red
right,
Eyes.
but we're not.
But we're just talking about the
archetype, we're
card,
talking
Blue
about
Eyes White
appearance.
Dragon. That's Kaiba's signature card.
Also,
or
Blue Eyes White
one of
Dragon
them.
looks
So-
awesome.
So you're going Toon World?
Yeah, I think Toon
Toon
World.
World?
Yeah.
Toon was a pretty good one. I like
That's
that
a
one.
tough one.
That's a tough one for you. For me, I would say probably. And it's gone. I'm thinking it's probably got to be one of the 5 dragons.
One of the 5 dragons.
Yeah.
You're not
Isn't
gonna
there
go
like-
with
isn't
one
That's
of
what I
the-
was thinking, like the
Yeah.
5Ds characters.
Isn't there actually 6 dragons in that show?
There is a 6th one.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I
They
was
didn't, they
saying-
didn't do it in the English one. They
Live
didn't-
stream, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Power Tool turns into live stream.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he becomes the 6th signer, but they didn't do that season in America.
That's not. That's not what the
I would
show's
probably
called.
say probably Red Dragon Archfiend.
That's a good
Yeah.
I
one.
fuck with that.
His
Yeah.
effect fucks me over too much.
Yeah.
Um,
That's why.
who's the 5th one again? Oh, Keys is like the Black Rose Dragon.
Oh, she's
Yeah.
good. That's
Um,
good.
I mean, Lightning Tricorn was cool, obviously. Like the corns, like those one were cool. There was one I was just thinking of that I was like, maybe that would have to be it.
Blackwing Dragon.
No,
Can I change my
Blackwing
answer to-
Dragon's kind of a letdown, but Armor Master, which is another
Oh,
signature
yeah.
card, that one's a good one.
I actually couldn't remember his signature card, so that's
Yeah.
why.
I mean, Cyber End Dragon's a really good one.
That's true. There are a lot of them.
A lot of the signature cards
Yeah.
tend to be pretty good, especially outside of Gen 1. There's one that I literally just thought of, and now I'm blanking out. Was it from? No, it was from Zexel. Shark Drake. Shark Drake's a pretty good one. Shark Drake and Shark Drake Vice.
Okay. You said you were changing yours?
Yeah, can I change mine to motherfucking Baby Dragon?
Baby Dragon.
Wouldn't
Joey's
call that-
OG.
Maybe
Call
Dragon
that
/ Time Wizard.
Time Wizard is one of his signature cards.
Yeah.
Nah, Baby
Time
Dragon.
Wizard and Jinzo and Red Eyes.
Jinzo was awesome. I
Jinzo
love
was
he,
a
Jinzo.
good
he
one.
took he
was
took Red Eyes
creepy.
and
'Cause he's
Jinzo
kinda
from other
weird
people.
looking.
You can use fucking traps that I was like, you're fucking guys. Like, it's over for you.
I mean, kind of though. Like, not being able to use traps really does fuck you. Like, so yeah, not counting the God cards. That's what I'd probably go with.
Okay. All right. Next question. What's the second signature card now?
I take it back, Mech Lord. Mech Lord. That's what I go with.
Why is tell me why Joey Wheeler's your favorite character?
Well, he's absolutely not. So that's a Brooklyn rage.
How about I mean, this one kind of ties into what I was talking about. I mean, if you've played before, what kind of deck would you like? What kind of deck did you run? If it had like an overarching theme, or if you could take a stab in the dark of what it probably was.
Yeah, I don't remember what my deck was, but most of the cards I remember were dragons, so we're going to go ahead and say it was a dragon deck, just because I don't
Seems
know.
like a good bet for that time.
Yeah.
Especially since you played in the ye old. Okay.
Ye olde days.
And like my real cards, it was either my dragon deck or my insect deck or zombie
Ew,
deck.
Insect deck.
But the one, like when I play the games, like that's obviously the most recent one, like the video games. Like I have a power dragon deck.
Got an insect deck? Yucky.
It was good back in the day, dude. I wrecked kids in middle school, dude.
Icky.
People raged. Like one kid even got so mad he like hit my deck so the cards went all over the fucking table.
What
and
a
I was
bastard.
pissed.
What a little
Yeah, it
fucking
almost started a
snot-nosed
fight.
kid.
It was bad.
Man, what a Kayaba.
He really kind of was.
Shut up.
And one of my cards did go missing after that too. I was pissed.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Does it surprise you that
It was
mine
like this little brainwashing parasite kind of card.
Oh, I think
This
I know
little
which one you're
white
talking
worm.
about.
Like in the show, I think
know-
it crawled on
I think I know which one
Jinzo's
you're
head.
talking about.
Start with a W, but
Does it surprise you that mine was a dinosaur deck? Oh,
Whoa.
dude, it was fucking stacked. I love that deck. I loved fucking destroying kids with dinosaurs.
what about yours?
Oh, favorite deck type?
What was
Like, what
yours?
kind of deck would you run?
Oh,
What did you run?
Blackwing deck.
Blackwing deck.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was just fun, absolutely destroying people with Armor Master by buffing it up to 9,000 attack point and
Fucking nerd.
ending them in one. Says the dinosaur
Dinosaurs
deck.
are cool.
Literally-
Dinosaurs were cool, not anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Continue to be.
And they will be
How did
cool.
you do this, Brandon? Cheater.
Especially if you had enough money for fucking the kaiju dinosaur. Oof.
You mean the
Get out of
You mean the
fucking town.
kaijus?
No, because there's only one kaiju dinosaur.
What's
The
a
different kaijus,
dinosaur?
there are different
There's
beasts.
different kaijus, but there's one
Ah.
kaiju that's a
Yeah.
dinosaur type.
Okay,
Oh,
you
okay.
win this. You win this
Fucking
round
stack
one.
them in a deck, get out of motherfucking
Yeah, they're
town. That
Kind of like
that's
those,
stinky.
whatever the immortal beasts. Like each one was like a different type.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man, fuck the Immortal Beasts. Or the Earthbound Immortals or whatever the
That's
fuck
what I
that-
meant. Like,
Yeah, man,
Earthbound
fuck those
Immortals, yeah.
cards. They're so annoying.
Mad is bad.
For me, I mean, I had my Tyranno Infinity deck, and I tried to run the Elemental Hero deck, which was hard to do because those cards were hard to get. So
It's also hard to narrow it down to which ones. Because
Yeah.
like,
Didn't you have
if
to
you had
use-
one of every one, you're gonna have like
There's-
over the 60 card limit.
Yeah,
absolutely,
Didn't you
yeah.
have to use polymerization for those? Like you have to use that card to be able to make
Polymerization,
them?
or
Fusion
you could
Gate.
use
Infusion.
Fusion Gate.
There's
Uh,
Multiple cards they had that
Miracle
you could do
Fusion.
without it.
There is
like
a-
Hero
there's-
Fusion, like
yeah, there's a
yeah.
ton
Plus,
of them.
if you ever wanted to make like a really good Elemental Hero deck nowadays, you need like, is it Dark Hero Law or something? It's like this Elemental like Dark or Masked Hero. Evil Hero, maybe? I don't
There
know.
are evil
There's,
heroes,
there's
but
like
they're all-
masked
Masked Hero.
heroes. Yeah.
You're probably thinking of either Master Destiny.
No, I think he was a Dark Masked Hero Law.
Oh,
Yeah, they got
yeah.
really weird with some of the stuff they
like a
added.
dark type monster.
No, like I think his name was
Masked
actually.
Hero Dark Law.
Yeah.
There you go. Dark. I was say masked would have been the first word for sure.
Oh,
But
shit.
yeah.
Is this made out of fucking little Black Panther?
He's like, which hero is this copy?
Yeah, but like, I used to look up competitive viable decks. If you want to make an Elemental Hero deck competitively viable, you have to have that guy.
This guy actually looks a
Oops,
little
I
bit.
knew
I
Yeah,
don't
I
know if I
don't
have
want it to
that
be
one in my
viable.
Elemental Hero deck,
I,
but I do pretty well with it.
Flare Scarab.
This Masked Hero Dark Law is
When I
looking
say
a little
competitive,
bit
I mean,
Batmanish, dude.
you know,
He's looking a little
the guys
Batmanish.
who combo
Aqua
you
Dolphin,
in a
Gromos.
turn and kill you because you're like,
Air Hummingbird. I forgot they
What
had
the-
the. Dumb,
I could sometimes be that guy.
the elements
Yeah.
right before
I've
the
gone
name.
online and won in one turn before.
I think
I
he looks a
refuse-
lot
I
more
refuse to play
Black
online.
Panther than
I
I
can't
love
do
playing.
it, man.
I used to love
Mm.
doing tag duels in the old game, like
Yeah.
Millennium duels.
Because
And
the
this new
teeth
one, it doesn't allow you to do
and the
it. but-
claws
and the claws.
And the one before it back, the first one for the PS4, like there
and
were
the
tag duels in it.
head
and it
in
was
his
fun.
chest that looks like it could be a
So literally
panther or
everything looks like-
jaguar or something.
Oh, I see. I saw his chest. Oh, there we
Yeah.
go. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I retract my fucking statement.
Oh, he's a fusion one. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta use the math. I think if you use
I couldn't think of him. I was like, I
Master
don't remember
something, I
that
don't
one,
know.
but okay, that's why.
that was past my time.
yeah, Elemental Heroes got weird.
Yeah, they did.
Oh well.
Next
What else you
question. So, one question I think that was really interesting is, so like, when you think of like that time, you think of like other shows like Digimon and Pokemon, and Ash has been around for 20 years doing the same thing over and over and over again. With Yu-Gi-Oh, it's a little bit different because every different show has a different protagonist. Do you like that better, or would you wish that it had been Yugi Moto going through all these different series? Taking away the fact that there's like giant time gaps and stuff.
Yeah, I would
Like-
say for
like-
me, like it staying as Yugi again wouldn't have made sense because like the dueling on motorcycles was in another time. In Zexal where they have like the augmented reality headsets that they wear to like show monsters interacting with the world, like that wouldn't have really worked for the time. But I mean, I thought it's a good take, fresh take, having new characters each time around. Like, yeah, have them stick around for a couple of years. Like the original Yu-Gi-Oh was 5 seasons, and then you had like GX, I think that had 3. 5Ds had 3. Like, I think it does well. Like
5Ds only had 3 seasons.
in America.
Oh.
I think both of those other ones had 4, but like the last one's in Japanese.
in America.
kids.
America.
In America.
See the same
Bandit
hatred,
King.
the same hatred that J. Fred has for Disney, I have for 4Kids, because they fuck a lot of things.
They
Alright.
did fuck
They
up
did
One
end them
Piece.
prematurely like that. Like there's no reason why they couldn't have put in these additional seasons.
Yeah,
really.
and it wasn't just Yu-Gi-Oh. Like a bunch of other shows they censored.
I just want to point out
Yu-Gi-Oh was the main one.
that I'm a firm believer that 4Kids like killed One Piece in the U.S.
Yes, it did. All the animes that came over here, 4Kids is like, is that a cigarette? No.
That's
It's
you.
a lollipop now.
Add this to the
I
don't know.
skipped ahead. My bad, Jay Fred.
That's okay. I don't mind you skipping ahead on this.
add that to our enemy board.
Kids. I think
Add
if
the
you
obstruct.
kept a single protagonist, you would definitely have to like age him properly throughout the thing. Which,
There's no wishing on a ho-oh, kind of like Ash did.
yeah,
He was
exactly.
dead the whole time. Also, in answer to your thing about the technology, got one word for you. Kaiba.
I mean, that's
I mean-
fair. Inevitably, he would come up with everything. Like, I guess in that newest movie, he did have that kind of like eyepiece kind of thing, like
Yeah.
where his deck was literally hologram cards. He didn't even have anything. He was like, okay, that card.
Physical
he's
media is
drawing
dead.
holograms and playing them into thin air. Like, I was like, okay, sure.
Whatever,
I could
guys.
just imagine Kaiba being like, "Ha ha, Yugi! I've colonized Mars and turned it into a Yu-Gi-Oh planet to defeat you."
It's all about dual monsters.
I created this motorcycle we could play card games on, but you can't because you don't have your license.
So you automatically lose.
Yeah, they never mentioned that in
Loser.
5Ds, like license and like who's allowed to drive. Like even when Trudge goes after him, it's never like, show me your license and registration. It's like, pull out your deck and duel me. This is
Show
my
me your deck.
registration.
We're fighting.
Oh, you said deck. Oh, thank God.
That was almost another charge.
It's like their license is a Yu-Gi-Oh card. They're like, "Give me a second. Wait, I gotta get it out. Ah,
It's in my deck
damn, I
somewhere.
shouldn't have shuffled it in there."
Sorry, it automatically shuffles. You know how this bitch is.
Heart of the cards, baby. Shit.
Fuck, expired license. The heart of the cards was not with me.
I know the insurance card is in there too. Just give me a minute.
Give me a quick. Like starts
So
dropping a
you
bunch
say
of
they
fucking
have
like.
to age him.
Yeah, if you had a single protagonist, you'd have to age them appropriately with the story. And from what I've seen of the storyline in the later seasons, generations, I'm not sure you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not with 5D.
There's-
Yeah.
It'd be hard.
Yeah, there's pretty extreme gap in there. So,
I think
Yeah,
it
the
was-
only
yeah.
ones I think that don't have an extreme gap are like GX in the original.
right.
Mhm.
From there, like it just goes exponential. Like by the time we get to Brains, like they're entering virtual worlds, like through
Yeah.
like virtual reality types, kind of like Sword Art and shit like that.
Yeah, I think it was good that they
Firewall
kept.
Dragon.
I think it was good that they kept changing the protagonist, just because it kept it fresh. I think that's one of the big issues with Pokemon is that it keeps Ash, but it's gone so far to the point. It's gone so far down the line where you can't really switch Ash anymore, because he's like the staple of Pokemon. He like is Pokemon.
You're in too deep.
Hey,
It would have
Yeah,
been
you're in
okay
too
if
deep.
they didn't
Yeah.
keep restarting it. Like if you're gonna
Yeah,
restart
if you're
everything,
gonna keep-
get a new character.
Yeah.
Yep.
Otherwise, like make it make sense for continuity.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, he finally became champion like
like he
4
just
years ago.
chooses to like, oh, all the Pokemon I caught in this region, I'm gonna put in the PC and start fresh. Like,
It's like, why, bitch? Are you
I mean, I probably would too if I was
like
going to different
Yugi's like,
regions.
I'm just gonna abandon all my cards up to this point and make a new deck off of this. It's like it'd be interesting, but does it really feel like Yugi at that point? Like if he's not using some of those,
like that
iconic
meme
cards.
of like Andy when he's dropping Woody in the trash can. He's like, I'm
Yeah.
done playing with you now.
right? Like
Or
it just doesn't work. You
or
need
like-
a new character at that point.
like that really
Especially
old.
in Yu-Gi-Oh, where like everyone's kind of based around like kind of like those archetypes and stuff. Like you can't just have a character switch up and all of a sudden like Yugi's like, oh, I don't like magicians or spell cards. Like,
It's like
I
that-
want to switch into dragons. And Kaiba's like, but that's my thing.
It's like that really old Coca-Cola
Not anymore.
commercial. Like that really old
That was your
Coca-Cola
thing
commercial.
in Duel's Kingdom.
Right?
It's like that really old Coca-Cola commercial with the football player. He just tosses his jersey to the kid. He's like, instead it's like Yu-Gi-Oh to like, here kid, fucking tosses his deck to like some random kid.
Paper cuts.
I'm done with these trash
Do
cards.
you know who
But these
that football
won you
player
every
was?
time.
No, I was trying to look it up before I could say the joke. Who is it, J. Fred?
I'm very disappointed in you
Who
right
is it,
now.
please, I want to know
I think
now.
technically,
You can find it
Okay.
on the internet. I believe in you.
I
guess
technically
just
answered
you.
at one point.
I mean, yeah, I like the different protagonists. I definitely agree that with every new area and region, that it's cool to have a new one. I mean, I think there is a little bit of merit of having like the same protagonist throughout. Definitely would have changed the story, so probably wouldn't have gotten as good of a story. But It would have been interesting running with Yugi. I mean, I think you would have needed to find new friends, and maybe you could have started like finding like Jaden and Yusei and finding like Cyrus and stuff, and maybe ditching Taya and Tristan because they were boring. But I definitely like the way that they're doing it now. But there's also something to be said about the OGs, kind of like with Digimon. Like, I like the generations afterwards, but if there's no tie, am I really that bought into it? Like,
oh no, I think there actually wasn't as big of a gap between 5Ds and GX as I thought, because there is one episode where they're going to these underground duels, and they're like, "Hey, is that Joey Wheeler?" And they're like, "Nah, I think that's his cousin." And it's a dude that looks like Joey Wheeler, like an older Joey Wheeler, like.
You.
I'm just saying,
I'm the
like,
leader
it was there.
of a bike gang.
But by all means, next question.
I'm a
all right,
gang
so it
leader.
says GX is set 10 years after the original series. 5Ds is some unspecified time after that. Zexal is an unspecified amount of time after that, and possibly in an alternate dimension. And Arc
Zexal's a little more futuristic,
Yeah.
yes.
And Arc V is an unspecified amount of time after Zexal, and definitely in the main dimension.
So an unspecified time after an unspecified
don't
time
have
after an
to flesh all
unspecified
that out.
time.
In another dimension.
We'll make
Yeah.
references when we need to.
I feel like
Otherwise, like, just assume it's not in the same time.
I was-
Dr. Eisenstein won the Nobel Prize in dual physics.
There you go.
Not
I always feel
Einstein.
Eisenstein.
Eisenstein.
Exactly.
I always
know
feel
his
like
name.
Arc
It's
5 is the
different.
forgotten child that no one ever talks about in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because, like, you never hear anyone talk
Because
about
it was all about, like, performing on stage with dueling.
You're joking.
No, like, the whole thing, like, his whole thing is that, like, he's wanting to be, like, an actor, like, an entertainer.
You know, I would shit on it, but Odd Eyes
His-
Pendulum Dragon is kind of cool.
Odd Eyes
I'll
is
give him
cool,
that.
but his support thing's called Performo Pals. No.
Hey, those were OP at one point.
Dude, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki has the timeline, and it just says 5Ds 20XX.
They don't give it a
20
specify.
XX.
Yeah, they gave up. They gave up on continuity. I can guarantee you that.
Sounds about right.
Oh, Mean Joe Green. Okay.
Ah,
What,
shit.
What else do the viewers have for us?
So another question is, so you know, in Yu-Gi, in like the original Yu-Gi-Oh series, we introduced all these new concepts, like things like the Millennium items, you know, the puzzle, eye, ring, all that stuff, and also like things like the Shadow Realm and all the kind of like this whole new world that kind of set Yu-Gi-Oh away from like other things like Pokemon and stuff like that, and really embrace its roots. Do you feel like you would have liked to see that in later seasons pop up again, or do you think that like the stuff they did was like good alternatives?
I feel like I was quite upset that it didn't appear in any other like seasons, because like I feel like they used like a couple of them in the first one, didn't they? Like the ring. I think the ring appeared and the eye. I didn't.
All the
what-
Millennium items.
All
were
of
them.
just
All of them
they were
appeared?
only
Yeah.
in the original
Okay.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay. Well, yeah. I guess I was kind of upset that they didn't appear again, because they were kind of like the main like thing of Yu-Gi-Oh. I would have liked to see it in like GX, and even if it's like a fucking like just like a little like cameo, it's like, oh, here's Pegasus' eye or something.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see any of the later series, so I didn't realize that they had dropped that,
Just
but that's kind of
yeah.
disappointing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of a core part of what I know of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
But also, I've only seen the first generation, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd argue against keeping them because, like Derek was saying earlier in the podcast, that entire storyline, it was done at the end of Yu-Gi-Oh! So I'm a firm believer that if you finish the storyline, just come up with something new. You know, you don't want to keep dragging the millennial items out. You didn't want them to be like the MacGuffins for every, you know, season and everything. Like if it's done, like GX, it made no sense to have the millennial items in GX because that's not what it was about. It was about Jaden learning how to, you know, be a functioning human being. Or
It's about the Sacred Beast and him dealing with his imaginary friend, okay?
exactly. Or
and a cult.
Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds was about like the 5 dragons and the summoner signs and
Oh,
Signers.
5
Yeah.
Ds, 5 dragons.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Not that I said that earlier or anything, but you
yeah,
know.
you definitely did.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal was about whatever the hell Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal was about.
That one was similar to the Pharaohs. Like there was a spirit locked into a little pendant
Okay,
that he wore.
Okay. Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 was about him apparently becoming, I don't know, America's
I
next
didn't-
top model. Who the fuck cares?
Didn't make it through that one too much, but
And,
I see where you're going with this.
And finally, Yu-Gi-Oh! Frames was about, I don't know, fucking virtual shit.
Skynet.
Yeah, Skynet.
Hell yeah.
Firewall
True.
Dragon
I mean-
School. Link Summoning School. That's all I gotta say about that.
I present to you pendulum summoning.
But I
Shut your whore mouth.
I agree with what you said because I mean, like, they did finish off the Pharaoh's story, and the Millennium items were directly related to the Pharaoh, and like, even like in the last episode of Yu-Gi-Oh, like when he does go back to ancient Egypt, like he does separate. Spoiler alert, and he does pass on to the afterlife to rest or whatever. Like, the Millennium items do fall. Like, all of them are put into this casket. Like, they do this ritual, and then like all of it just like tumbles into like the middle of the earth. They don't really show what happens, but like it's you would assume that basically like they're also lost to like that foreign time that he's from. And so to bring that up again, like you couldn't have the Millennium items without the Pharaoh because like that's kind of his whole thing is that he's tied to the Millennium puzzle. But I mean, each one did their own parts that made it cool. Like the Crimson Dragon kind of took the place of that in 5Ds. GX had its own little weird thing going on, again with like seeing the spirits and stuff like that. It wasn't really tied to an item as much of tied to the protagonist.
Yeah.
I think 5Ds did a good 5Ds had their story that they did in their season. I think is the closest that we got to how rich the first season was with the Millennium items, with the different signers and the
each one belongs
Earth
to a different
Immortal.
person for different reasons. Like they each have their strengths that bring them together as a team, and then there is this like kind of like not otherworldly force, but kind of otherworldly force like with it, like that spirit that's there of the Crimson Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, I do like miss like the Millennium puzzle, like Millennium items, but I definitely agree that each season kind of has like its own thing, and it would be odd to see them later on. As cool as it like be just to like see Easter eggs or whatnot. I don't know if every season kind of hit the heights with that kind of story. Like when I think about GX, like I think about several different things, not just like one overarching thing. Like with 5Ds, you're like, oh yeah, the dragons, the signer, Crimson Dragon, all that stuff. Like with GX, you're just like, he's just going to school. And he just
like he's just a kid.
Stuff pops up, he fights that stuff. There we go. Like you would think the Sacred Beast would have been that, but we finished Sacred Beast.
With Jade, it almost feels like he's not like a chosen one, like because of this. Like he's the one who just chooses to step up.
Yeah, he's just the only one that can handle everything that they throw at him. So even though he's not an Obelisk Blue, so yeah, take that.
And yet he kicked every Obelisk Blue's ass. So I mean, like
honestly, he should get his own dorm, the Exodia dorm or something like
right. Like that'd be cool.
That would be
an
really
Exodia
cool.
It's like
dorm.
the fucking honors college of that fucking school.
Because Exodia was kind of like an Egyptian god, kind of.
I feel like he's the one that kept the gods in check.
Right?
So he's more like a Titan.
Yeah,
that's basically what he was. He was a Titan.
I mean, when Obelisk showed up, the game didn't end. When Exodia showed up, that game was over.
True.
But
Now, granted, if they duked it out, do I think Exodia could beat Obelisk? Probably not. But Obelisk probably would have destroyed Exodia because he was, a god. But it would have been good.
Yeah. All right. Quick follow-up question: between the Millennium items and the Signer Dragons, which one do you liked better? Like you felt like was a better story, I guess.
For me,
Richer
they're
world.
just too different. Like,
Yeah.
like you can compare them, but you also can't. I don't know. I guess like the Millennium items, I thought was a little better.
Yeah, story-wise,
Well,
I think Millennium items.
For me, it's hard because like yes, the Pharaoh was tied to the Millennium puzzle,
Mhm.
but there wasn't a spirit tied to most of the other. Like there was the evil Yami tied to the ring, but we didn't have one for the rod, for the eye, for the scales. Like, so it just kind of felt like why only these two? And like,
Why would the puzzle be the one? Like
yeah, like of all of them, like the puzzle has the good Yami or
Maybe.
has a Tem in it, and then like the evil Yami is in the ring. But like again, there's
Maybe
5 other
Yami
items.
was fascinated with the puzzle, and when he finally figured it out, it sucked his soul into the puzzle. And then when Yugi fixed the puzzle, that let him back out.
sounds like some Ghostbusters nonsense.
I mean,
Exactly.
that is
That's-
basically what happened.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
don't remember how he got trapped into it because I know he wore it when he was a pharaoh, but yeah, that's how
Yeah,
he
I
got
don't-
unleashed
with all
with
that
Yugi
bling.
fixing it.
Yeah.
But,
All that bling.
but I do like the
all that
Crimson Dragon because that
motherfucking
one's almost
drip.
like these people were chosen by fate. Like it wasn't just you happen to solve the puzzle and now this dude's inhabiting your body, even though he just happens to be descendant. I guess that would kind of make it fate, but
Kinda
I guess that
does.
kind of does, yeah. But I
Well,
don't
it's
know.
a fate for like the entire group. It's not just
Mhm.
you.
Like,
Like
saying-
motherfucking
the Crimson
definition.
Dragon, it was almost like it wasn't because you were tied to anyone. They didn't have any like special ancestry. It was literally like the dragon's like, I see this potential in you. I'm choosing you to be one of my representatives in this world, like to fight the evil.
You got a dragon card, so yeah, I guess you're a signer, whatever.
Yeah, that was pretty coincidental too. They all just happen to have a dragon card there, like
Okay.
even though one of them wasn't a dragon. But.
Yeah.
Derek, let me ask you a follow-up question.
Rebuttal.
What is the worst signer dragon?
The worst one
Mm-hmm.
in terms of what?
Whatever metric you want to use. This is your personal opinion.
Blackwing dragon.
Damn, I actually agree with that. Yeah, objectively, it is kind of a terrible card.
Red Dragon Archfiend is good. It has a shitty effect that where like you have to attack with it or it destroys itself, but like at the end of the day, it's still strong. Like
Yeah.
the Blackwing Dragon, it's strong, but like its effect doesn't always provide as useful for me as I would have liked. Ancient Fairy has its abilities. Life Stream isn't bad.
Yeah.
Stardust is pretty good.
Stardust.
Can't really fight against Stardust. Like
Stardust was like borderline broken when it came out.
points wise, is it one of the weaker ones? Sure, but like effect wise, it makes up for it.
Yeah. Fun fact about that: did you guys realize that every single like main character like card is always 2,500 attack,
Mhm.
3,000 defense? Every single one,
None of them have 3,000 defense, but.
or 2,000? Is it 2,000 defense?
No.
The
2100.
rival usually has like a 3,000 point monster.
I mean,
It's
for
usually
defense
25 and 12.
Uh,
Dark Magician, Neos,
is it 12?
Stardust, Utopia, and then Odd Eyes, and then I
Yeah.
don't know what the guy in Brains uses.
Neos had
Firewall.
2,000.
Yeah,
yeah.
so 2,000.
Is it 25 and 2?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Firewall Dragon.
Firewall Dragon.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which was
But yeah, no,
Get
they
real
all have the
Matrixy with
25.
that one.
yeah.
They do all have the 2,500 attack points.
Yeah, and then Dark
Defense
Magician
points
had
probably.
2,100.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I thought he was 1,200.
Nope.
Eh.
Huh.
Dark Magician.
So, attack is always 2,500
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
3,000. That one's for sure.
And then, like Kaiba, Blue Eyes,
Yeah.
3,000, Red Dragon Archfiend, 3,000.
Stardust is 2,000.
Attack?
No, defense.
Oh, I was like,
Okay, it's
no, it's not,
supposed
Tyler.
to be
I
like-
guarantee you that.
Yeah, so that was our episode on Yugioh. So I hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the Yu-Gi-Oh lore. Definitely probably a lot more that these guys didn't expect. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned a little bit more. Definitely encourage you to watch the show. Movies, definitely play the game if you can.
Abridged.
Yeah, Abridged is always so good. Go and play the game, card game, or virtual game. Either one is great, but definitely worth checking out. So just to wrap up, just remember that if you go to Apple Podcasts and give Nerd of All Trades a 5-star review, we'll read your review aloud. So, and don't worry if you have any special requests for who to speak it, you can do that. Whoever says it, not speak it. Sorry, I already could feel the look. Kind of like Derek did with the Jack My Lumber one last week. So definitely take advantage of that. Don't forget, check us out on social media. We do a lot of postings related to the episodes that we release. Just a lot of fun stuff that you can participate in. All of our handles are also going to be in our show notes if you miss them right now. Our Facebook is Nerd of All Trades Podcast. Our Twitter is @NOAT Podcast. Instagram is nerd.ofalltrades. YouTube is BurchverseCreate, BURCH, not like the tree. I know I normally say that later, but I feel like I need to say it now. If you love this podcast, you want to be involved in our community as we build it into something great, go ahead and check us out on Patreon. We have a lot of great tiers there. Everything from $1 to $30 a month. Every little bit helps. So if you want to get your biggest bang for your buck for Nerd of All Trades in particular, we have a special $15 tier called the Master of All Trades. And that one is where you get exclusive movie commentaries, Patreon exclusive episodes, and free merch. So we're pretty excited about that one. We launched our first piece of merch. It's not really like anything big on our Etsy. It's going to be our season 1 poster, so it details all the different episodes that we do and tells you like all the guests and stuff. So go and check that out on Etsy. And just a reminder that once we hit 20 patrons, we'll be able to launch new projects like merchandise and better equipment. So definitely go and contribute. It's 20 patrons, not like a special dollar amount. So even if you go contribute $1, like we're still going to be able to get to our goal. Our Patreon is patreon.com/BurchverseCreate, BURCH, like I said before, not like the tree. I hope you enjoyed this episode on Yu-Gi-Oh! Make sure to give us a follow on social media, and we'll see you next week for our episode on Transformers. I know Brandon's looking forward to that one. So just be on the lookout for any kind of posts. Till then, I'm your host, Tyler Birch, signing off.
This is J. Fred, the engineer, signing off.
This is just Derek. I'm leaving.
This is Brandon. I'm out.
This is Juan the newbie. Goodbye.